What up, chat? It's your boy ThePowerXLofficial, and we're back again with another episode. I hope you guys are ready for this. Ready and willing, baby. Let's get it. I want to see the release of these files. I'm not gonna quit. I don't give a crap. We all want to see it. We all know the details, and we all want to see it come out live, uncut, unredacted, full-fledged.
And we'll look at the Epstein stuff as well. What is this here?
Full.
Oh, this is big. This is...
I need full disclosure on these files, the list, the data, all of it. I need all the info.
Real big.
I'm done. No more musking around.
Speaker Johnson, this is sort of on
the
heels of something else that a lot of people are asking questions about, and because we've been lied to by our federal government for so long, I feel like there's
no one trusts them.
And there's a pain point, right, and a pressure cooker that gets heated up on issues like the Epstein issue, right? And obviously that's something that's taken over.
Can you believe that we live in a world now where somebody can donate $5 to hopefully get a question asked to the Speaker of the House for the United States of America on YouTube? Yeah, I'm gonna throw in a $5 here. So, like, what the fuck is with, like, this whole pedophile ring and, like, all the elites and billionaires? Can you ask him about that? That's dumb as fuck. No, it's not. This is the way Thomas Jefferson would have envisioned it.
A lot of the online dialogue. So a question here about it that concerns either testifying or testimony for Ghislaine Maxwell, potentially before Congress, or if you would support members like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Anna Paulina Luna on the release of subpoenaing the Epstein documents from the DOJ, whether you would support either of those.
Yeah, I haven't talked to Marjorie or Anna about that specific subject, but I'm for transparency. We're intellectually consistent in this. We look, Reagan used to tell us we should trust the American people. I believe in that principle. I know President Trump does as well, and I trust him. I mean, he put together a team of his choosing, and they're
doing not trust the American people, but okay,
doing a great job. It's a very delicate subject.
I like this guy.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean,
that's true. That's exactly what I said. Put it out there.
White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. And you know,
there it
Pam
is.
Bondi, I don't know.
I told you, bitching, crying, mauling, getting mad. It's working. I said it was gonna work. It's working, bro.
She originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents, as I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities, so let's get this thing resolved so that...
Well, this is a major priority. Very important to keep in mind. This is not a major priority. This is the major priority. Because this is what everything else, like, dude, if you can't get this locked down, you can't do shit.
Deal with violent crime and public safety and election integrity and going after act.
I think I 100% agree. Lock it the heck in.
So I'm anxious to get this behind us.
Yeah, no, he's right. And he's actually like, by the way, this is a pragmatic and reasonable perspective to have too. Because also, there are a lot of other issues that need to be resolved besides Epstein. And it's just that the Epstein list is eclipsing every other problem because of how blatantly egregious it is. And I think that that's really the problem that we have. It's midterms, yeah.
Yeah, the real problem is they won't address the issue, so they're dragging it out. Because we're not going to let it go. They think, oh, yeah, we're going to let it go. No. We know you're in the files, Trump. Just get over it. Release it. Redact your name. I don't care. But if you're the only one that's protected out of it, I would take that bullet just because it's better off to disclose all the information and all the other bad people besides one bad guy. Only because We got to know the rest of the people involved. But if the rest of the people involved, they're going to rat Trump out.
Do you want to remain in power?
So,
Do you
who will?
want to continue
Oh, well.
having, like, you know, all three branches of government as pretty much a monopoly, and you can do whatever you want? Well, then you've got to get this in front of the public and get this behind you so you can continue collecting W's. Because the fact is, like, the Iran shit was a W. The border was a W. The anti-woke shit was a W. Removing DEI stuff,
WWW.
Defunding universities, having trans athletes, huge W. Like,
W.
he has brought home the bacon with a lot of different stuff. The Middle Eastern visits, W. Like, bringing in manufacturing to America, massive W. You know, all of that stuff. Like, he's had a lot of huge wins. I haven't even thought about a lot of these too. And kill streak ended. Yeah, stopping the Rwanda genocide. Totally.
He basically flopped at the end.
Happening since like 1994. So the fact is that voting to block will make your blood boil. It's misleading. That's not what happened. You were misled. Look into it. I'll probably put out a video about it later on, and that way people can see it. And yeah, I understand what you're saying, but that's not what happened. And it's dishonest and tired out. People believing headlines. Yeah, I know. And well, no, you won't. Well, of course I won't, but my editors probably will. So that'll be the difference. And you're slapping a W on a lot of bullshit. He hasn't even had any official trade deals, and tariffs had negative effects long term. Well, tariffs will have negative effects long term. Okay, well, we've already had negative effects of not having tariffs, so I would say that doesn't really matter. And then also, so if you're saying that those other things are bullshit, I don't think they're bullshit. I care about those things a lot. And so, I mean, if you think that I'm wrong, that's fine. Oh, here we go. There's more.
Here we go.
Got videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. You know, you got the director of the FBI on this show saying there's no if there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what?
These aren't the tapes you're looking for.
What did they say? There was thousands of hours of
These
tapes
aren't the
of people
tapes
doing
you're
horrible
looking
shit.
for.
Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
What, are you talking about Epstein or Diddy?
Yeah, Epstein.
Epstein. Yeah, she
Which one?
said it literally, I think, a week before you had the FBI director sitting here telling you there was nothing, right?
Yeah.
She said something about that there was like thousands.
She said straight up. She said straight out, plain out, absolutely, that they confiscated thousands of hours. Yes.
Of hours of tapes of people
Yes.
doing horrible crimes.
There is. And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
The FBI dude.
Cash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. No,
I
of
mean,
course.
and
I understand.
obviously,
I understand.
he's saying what he has to say.
Right.
Mystery surrounds the Jeffrey Epstein files after Bondi
Mystery?
claims tens of thousands of videos.
Wow.
Tens of thousands.
Wow, that's a lot.
He's saying what he has to
Tell
say.
you what.
Tens of thousands of videos, but apparently nobody was into
No.
videos.
But no one else has a hold of these videos.
Oh my
Crazy.
God. Was reviewing tens of thousands of
Yeah,
videos.
no
The
one
wealthy
was into videos.
financier with children
interesting?
or child porn. The comment made to reporters at the White House days after a similar remark to a stranger with a hidden camera raised the
It's real
stakes for
weird.
President
Yeah, it
Donald
is.
Trump's administration to prove it has in its possession previously unseen compelling documents, or just bomb Iran, and everybody forgets.
Just
about
bomb Iran. Yeah.
it. Everybody forgets about it.
Yeah, I mean, apparently that didn't work. Who's this guy?
Should there be an investigation or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I just
Let me make sure I turn this up.
You don't think there should be a special investigation
Should there be
because you're not an
investigation
attorney?
or a special counsel investigation?
I don't know.
Guilty.
I'm not an attorney. I just find them guilty and hang them publicly.
Oh shit, even better. Even better. I love this guy. What a W. Can I vote for him now?
Who's this guy? Tim Burchett.
Fucking Tim for the W, dude. Fuck yeah.
Oh.
Find them guilty. And
Get
hang
'em,
them
Tim.
Publicly. I mean,
Get
that's
'em.
That's not over the top either. I'm ready.
This
I'm
is
over.
reasonable.
This is reasonable, yes.
Disgust me.
Hell yeah.
I'm big on clarity and transparency, and you know that's good reason people don't trust government, either party.
But you don't believe what the Justice Department is saying?
I don't know. No, I don't. I think
He just says, I don't know. He's
No.
trying to be political about it, and he's like, actually, you know what? Nah, bro, fuck that.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
he's
trust
trying to be conservative.
Damn.
and hang them publicly. I mean,
He said, fuck that.
Shit.
He said, fuck that.
Oh,
When you involve the
man.
kid, you
Oh,
involve
bro, here's
God.
what-
Rat.
Well, finally, we bringing it back. Who is
Yeah.
this? I
Bring
don't know.
back
He's somebody
hangings.
I'd vote for, though. I've been waiting on this for a while.
Bring back public
Are
hangings.
we back to 1700? Oh,
Yes.
I mean, bro, like moving to Tennessee, yeah, that's what it's about. Real base shit, exactly. Yeah, so when was the last time we did
And
that?
Tennessee
Was
is the
Saddam,
shit.
right? Like we hung Saddam publicly. Like in my opinion, I think hanging this is just my opinion. I don't like the idea of hanging people publicly. I feel like you can make actually. I won't share my opinions on what I think the preferential way of doing it is. Let's you know what? Why don't I just not?
He's
do
gonna
that?
say torture him.
But that's not what I would do. I would have a very creative guy, okay? It's pay-per-view, yeah, it's for the best. And so, no, it would not be hanging them, bro. It's like, it's over too fast. It's, no. Okay, here we go. Did Pam Bondi tell you your name appeared in the Epstein files? Uh-oh.
On Epstein, the Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
what? On the...
On Epstein, the Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
what? On the...
On the DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein. On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, you know, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden,
Why would Obama make it up about you? You're not even fucking president yet, you retard. Oh my God. What the fuck? You're good at explaining stuff away, but when you're actually guilty, you can't lie.
Shut up, man. Like,
Stop
if
bullshitting
they
me.
made all these files up, then why didn't they put them out? And if you didn't know, like, so what's the logic here, right? Like, that they made
Literally.
the files up. If they made them up, then how do you know that they existed? And if you knew that they existed, then why didn't they release them? None of this makes any fucking sense, bro. Like, none of this makes any
It's just-
fucking... You think about...
This is what happens when you get bullshitted by somebody and you're smarter than the bullshitter.
There's no logic to this at all,
None.
man.
No
Like,
logic.
insulting. This is so dumb.
Obama
bro. Like,
made it.
He's just
Anything.
Cut this shit the fuck out, bro. Like, really?
You're making yourself look worse, bro. I would rather have him on the fucking list, still run the presidential America, and I think it would be better if he put everything and he didn't. I would rather him deny he even did anything and just leave it the way it is.
We went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well.
But you got to at least say that you believed it, though, right? Because, like, if you're going around and you're bad-mouthing old Slick Willie, you're bad-mouthing Bill Clinton. That wasn't fair to Bill Clinton. Bill was one of our presidents. He was a president of the United States of America, and you said he was a pedophile. I think that's a little bit unfair. I think Bill Clinton deserves an apology. That was uncalled for. That was so mean. Should have never said that.
and it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
It's outrageous.
On Texas, how many more seats do you want the Republicans to?
Do you want the Republicans to lose? I don't know. It depends on how much longer you want to talk about this bullshit. And
really.
We went through years of that. With the files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden
Ow.
And we went through years of that.
I love Trump, man, but this looks bad. What do you want him to do? There's absolutely no way he'll expose the files and make Israel look bad. Well, here's the thing, is that just do it anyway.
Welcome.
Just do it.
This is why we voted you in.
What's going to happen if you make Israel look bad? Who cares? What
what the fuck?
Nothing.
Fuck are they gonna do?
Like, he's losing midterms because of this? Yeah, he's actually like, I want to let you guys know, like, he's losing. Like, this is such a massive thing. Like, of all the things you can fuck up on, this is one of the biggest things for you to fuck up on. He just gave Democrats a layup? Yeah, he did.
Literally.
It's much bigger than we think. That I don't like. The thing is that I don't care. It doesn't matter how big it is or not. We need to get the information out. People deserve to know. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about, oh, wow, it's going to destroy the government. God, I was already sold, but wow, really? Like, I mean, really? I mean, what is this? It's a build under bridges situation? Yes. I mean, let it crumble.
You suck one dick,
like, dude,
you're a dick
like,
sucker.
I don't understand. I don't care about this. It's not about, I understand that you might not care about this from a pragmatic point of view, and I can respect that viewpoint. But what you should care about is the fact that the government is openly insulting the intelligence of all of its voters and everybody involved with it by perpetuating this obvious lie. This is an obvious lie. It's very clearly a 180 from what they had previously discussed. It creates more questions than it answered. And yeah, he's lying to our face. Yeah, it's bullshit. You think that's anything new? That's cute? Well, the difference is that, like, Trump would make up bullshit before, but it didn't really matter. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, oh, yeah, like, this guy said this thing. Who cares? But this thing does matter. Like,
he would bullshit about like,
I don't give a fuck about, right? But,
exactly.
Like, if you want to lie about something important like this, that's the issue. You should care about the fact that Mossad ran a blackmail operation as dirt on all our politicians and makes them dance like puppets for Israel. Well, how do you make that stop? You create a situation where being in favor of this means that you will lose your authority regardless. So when people are stuck between a rock and a hard, like, in order to change behavior, you have to look at why a person is doing something and then take away that incentive and then provide a disincentive for that behavior, and that will make them do something different. That's the way that things work. This is the way that you can train an animal. You can train people the same way. People are animals. Like, it's so easy to make people do what you want. All you have to do is figure out what they want and then either give it to them or take it away, and that will make them do what you want. It's so simple. So really, I don't even understand. Yeah, it's Pavlovianism. Exactly. So, but what if it's preventing a war? Would you sacrifice peace for the truth? No, the truth matters more. Because I think that a managed decline is worse. You know, I say I'd rather burn out than fade away. And I think that also this is the idea of that is it's an appeal to people's fear rather than their logic and rationality. Because if that's actually what's happening, then, well, number one, why would that happen? Number one. And number two, if the entire world is propped up by like this weird pedo organization, and if you expose it, everybody's going to die. What a weird, what are you talking? What a ridiculous premise. What the fuck is it? What? It's insane. If it causes World War III, well, then they shouldn't have done it. See, what politicians are afraid of more than anything is people that have nothing left to lose. And you should always vote as if you have nothing left to lose. Never accept half measures. Never accept bullshit. You can choose, and by the way, this is the way that I vote and I make decisions. If you choose not to make decisions this way, that's totally fine. But my opinion is that I will vote for extremist, radical, psychotic candidates because I view these people as the most destructive to the system. And I think the system is problematic, and it's designed to be slowly destructive. And I think that to accelerate the process, I would want to vote for somebody that would be even more destructive. That's the way I see things. Lamau, another L. Hey, you shouldn't have put me in that position. If you don't want me to do that, you shouldn't have put me in that position. Yeah. Like, that's not, yeah, I mean, fuck. Like, what, yeah, you're making me, I don't want to do this. It's something I have to do. So, yeah, it's chaos magic. Well, no,
Literally.
I'm just being honest, right? So, we're voting Kanye. Well, we'll see what happens. They're afraid of losing power and control. They just want to be in charge. They can easily be replaced, though. They aren't as important as people think. Yeah. And so, I can see that if the system's working against you, then overthrow the system. Yeah, exactly. Do you think Russia's involved in some way? I think that a lot of people are involved. But let me go back. I'll see. This is Matt Walsh talking.
I think they're all involved.
And we'll go back to other things that he probably commented about this today also. But we'll go ahead and get to this first. Your voting logic is moronic.
Everybody's involved.
Well,
moronic?
Then those candidates better get a whole lot dumber. The way that I'm going to do, like... You act like me, like saying that it's dumb is going to be like, oh, wow, okay. Well, oh my God, I'm stupid? Okay, never mind. I'm going to do what you want now. That's not,
yeah.
Why would I do that?
Now, of course, we have no idea
what
information
retards, that's why.
This sociopath, this evil woman will ultimately reveal. But the fact remains that, especially after the humiliating display by Bondi and the DOJ we've all just witnessed, it's probably worth listening to Maxwell's testimony. If a client list exists at this point, she's the most likely person to tell us. Now, yes, it's an indictment of Pam Bondi and the DOJ that we see any reason to listen to a ghoul like this, but that's where we are. Millions of Americans are not satisfied with what we've been told. And we shouldn't be, because it's been contradictory and insulting to our intelligence.
The only people that are okay with it are the people involved.
Now everybody's saying it.
So now we're looking elsewhere. This is what
Insult
happens
my
when
intelligence.
people are deceived and strung along for years, only to be told that they're not entitled to any kind of transparency whatsoever. People are not just going to move on with their lives, no matter how badly you want them to.
I need this. Come on. Come on, puppy.
There's a reason for that.
Come on, Papa.
I want to make this very clear to those on the right, including the president himself, who are telling us to just drop the subject and move on.
Nope.
We can't.
Hell no.
We can't move on, because what we want is justice. We have a deep desire for justice, and we can see how the corrupt and powerful are never held accountable. We can look at our cities and see violent criminals running rampant in the streets.
Oh, I love this. Yep.
Also not held accountable.
Oh.
We want these evildoers to be punished. We want the innocent to be defended.
Yep.
We want justice.
That's a fact.
It's one of the most basic and most honorable of all human desires. We want to see that justice is done. We want to know who else was in those awful videos that Pam Bondi told us about. And we want those people to be dragged in front of us, weeping and begging for mercy.
And then we don't give it to them, and
we want them exposed and humiliated and shamed and punished in the harshest and most painful way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yep. That's
that
right.
Meowth was cool.
That's
they
right.
They all sucked.
Mercy for the guilty is cruelty to the victims. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Foil.
I'm very much a viewpoint. I completely agree with that at all. Firing squad? No. If I was in charge of this, I would would not do public hangings. I'm trying to think, like, would I get in trouble for saying what I would do? You want to test it and see what happened? So if I found somebody was guilty, like for anything like this, right? Like let's I'm not going to be I'm going to be vague on purpose, okay? If I found that somebody in the government and in one of these like very high positions of power was actually involved in something that was like really horrible like this, I would bring back crucifixions and I would do them and I would put them up in front of the White House.
Fuck yeah. Yes.
Right.
I love it. Crucify him. Yes. Bring back crucifixions. Jeez.
Upside down? No. No.
Because that's justice.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not.
That's the censored version.
100% complete beginner.
So unseal everything, including the search warrants and the financial disclosures. Tell us what exactly was in those
trucks. Yes, it'd be insulting St. Peter. Exactly. St. Peter was crucified upside down. He was one of the apostles. We couldn't do that. We would not want to give them that rite of passage.
Yeah.
Loads of documents that you recovered in New York. Show us the Phase 2 Epstein files that you told us about just a few months ago. In other words, don't give us any more excuses from bureaucrats on Fox News. Don't give us any more stonewalling and doublespeak. We've seen more than enough of that in this case and so many others. Instead, for a change, give us something we're not used to seeing from the federal government and the DOJ.
Do the thing.
Give us justice.
Yeah, just do the thing that people wanted you to do. It's really simple.
Do the thing that you ran on, you know? Do that thing. That'd be kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's it, buddy. Like the Vikings did? No, I don't think so. Is that insulting Jesus? No. There's been a lot of other... The upside-down crucifixions were very uncommon in a lot of cases. And, I know a lot about... Like, I know a disturbing amount about this. No, absolutely not. And use the X crucifix. Maybe you could do that, right? I don't know. But anyway, use it on X, the brazen bull. I don't like that one. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. And I don't like it. And so yeah, the Tree of Woe. Well, that's nice. Yeah, you bring back the Conan the Barbarian. Well, anyway, no, he's right about this. People elected Trump to be in some way an enforcer of the law. They see a completely lawless society where certain inner cities have turned into PvP servers. You have politicians that are openly corrupt. And I think that a lot of people, again, I don't think that people think that Trump isn't corrupt, but they thought that he was corrupt too. And they were hoping maybe it takes one to know one. I think that's what a lot of people saw, is because there was no real good option, but so people just went with the lesser of two evils in some way, and that's really what happened.
Basically,
give him to Diddy. Yeah, I don't think that people like. I think a lot of people would assume Trump did some like shady stuff, but that doesn't really matter a whole lot about that. And so anyway, let's go back. I'll see. Oh, here's another one too. Oh, here we go. Karen torture seems pretty bad. Put them all on Epstein Islands and make them play the Hunger Games. That'd be an interesting idea. I like that idea. That's a decent one. Search Brazen Bull. I know what it is. I don't like it because I just don't like it. Yeah, I don't think it's it's not stream it. Yeah, it's a good one. No, I don't, because you don't get, like, nobody gets to even see who's in it. Right? Like, I mean, you don't even get to see who's in it because it's not see-through. It's made by brass and like bronze. So like that's not how it would work. Yeah. So you can't even see it happen. That too. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of doing stuff like that it's about setting an example, right? You can hear it. That's boring.
Of that, I have the names of the people who are making the claim that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, and that the most gross,
I keep saying it. There's no way anybody can deny it at this point, right? It's massive.
Massive.
Really? Like, this is... I've never seen one bigger than this. The hat's bigger. Yes. What is this hat called? Give me a second. I don't want to search Jew hat. What's the hat called? It's bigger than this one.
Yarmulke.
It's bigger than this one.
Bro,
this
you didn't
one.
know that?
I think it's almost the same size as this one. I think it's bigger than this one. See, that's him when he was younger. It was not that big. Way smaller.
Growing.
Too. Look at that.
Crazy.
That's crazy. He's getting more powerful. It's true.
And sort of extreme of the conspiracy theories or theories.
Damn it.
Don't even call them conspiracy theories. The most sort of, extreme version of the theory is not true. I have names of the people who are claiming that. Okay, they are all in the administration.
How does everybody have everybody's names, but nobody says what any of the names are? I'm starting to not believe this.
My point. If other people want to make those claims that are counter to that, then they should provide evidence or at least put their names on it so we can question them about that as well. Because otherwise, we're just in the realm of pure speculation. And frankly, I just don't find that useful. I would love more useful information. This is why I'm angry at Pam Bondi. I think there should be all the useful information possible. But the same thing holds true for people who are making claims on the other side. Otherwise, I can claim that he was working for a cadre of space aliens who are blackmailing high-profile Americans in order to protect from a future invasion. And there's just a...
That's true.
Huh. Interesting.
About as much evidence for that as many of the claims that are being made on the other side.
That's what I thought,
well, let's talk about that.
That is made requires evidence.
That's exactly what I thought.
Requires actual evidence, and at the very least, in the absence of evidence, the credible names of the people that I can either trust or not trust.
Yeah, but like, here's the problem. Like, Ben Shapiro's right that claims require evidence, but the issue is that there are a lot of ways that you could logically go about and investigate the collection of that evidence that aren't being activated. Like, for example, there are different ways that you can question people. Like, Ghislaine Maxwell wants to come before Congress and talk about it. You could have people get in, like, have they ever answered the question about whether there are other people in the videotapes that are adults that are being tried or investigated or they're being looked into? How many other police agencies or people in the FBI? You said you have tens of thousands of videos and not a single one have another person besides Jeffrey Epstein. Come on. Like, this is it. So it's not even like, I understand where Ben Shapiro is coming from, but like, you're almost there. The fact is that the evidence is right in front of them. And they're saying, well, we don't know what's in the evidence. We don't know what's in the evidence. Well, yeah, we'll look at it then.
They don't want to. What do you
the President
mean?
of the United States and Vice President to the head of the FBI, the AG, and the Deputy Head of the FBI.
Well, I think it's very hard to say those people need to come out and put their names on these claims when they're working for an administration, this one and the one before, that didn't want that to come out. You're asking somebody to countermand the people they work for.
How am I supposed to falsify their claims? Now we're working in the realm of the unfalsifiable.
You're not, but you're...
Well, it's easy to falsify the claims. It's so easy. You just listen to what they said. They're falsifying their own claims. They said that they were going to release the list. They said certain people were on the list. They said people were going to have problems. We're not false. We're going to release the list. They said certain people were on the list. They said people were going to have problems. We're not falsifying it. They are. And now they're going back on it.
Big Drew.
Look, Ben, you can't come to me and say, everybody I know says...
He can't
other
talk.
People as potentially being involved. Him, whether he killed himself or not, doesn't matter.
And the only part of it that does matter is the people that were involved in the killing of him.
That's a mining canary for the actual problem.
Yes, exactly.
Don't get fixated on the fucking bird. It doesn't matter.
And saying, I actually have my own sources who say he didn't. And then you say, well, your sources are not valid because they put their names on it. Okay.
Well,
Who are
no,
your
I'm not saying
sources?
they're
Let's go
invalid. I'm
down the
saying they
list,
should-
and then we'll talk about why they might be saying that.
My sources are the President of the United States, the Vice President of the United States, Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, Dan Bongino, the Deputy Head of the FBI, and Pam Bondi, the Attorney General. And those aren't just
So all those sources said that Joe Biden had no cognitive decline, and for 4 years everybody knew that was a lie. But now suddenly the administration being in lockstep with each other ensures that they're telling the truth. What are we doing? Just so ridiculous.
my sources. They're everybody's sources because they publicly came out and said this.
Different administration? No, it doesn't matter. It's a different administration. What matters is that he's using their credibility and their positions as their credibility. He said the director of the FBI. He didn't say their names. He's using their positions to enforce their authority, which implies credibility. That's what he's doing.
Okay. Trump hasn't specifically weighed in on that specific aspect of it. We've all seen the limited things that Trump has said and tweeted on this. And J.D. Vance was calling for transparency and suggesting otherwise prior to taking office. He hasn't commented on this so far, so he's not one of your sources.
Ask him. He's the vice
You've
president.
got Cash.
So
Good fucking all right, Ben. True. Somebody should fucking ask him. Yeah, you're right. What I think is happening, this is my guess. A lot of young Republican up-and-comers aren't speaking out against this. And I think they're not really saying anything about it, period. Like, I'm not hearing Vivek Ramaswamy talk about this a lot. Fucking J.D. Vance isn't really talking about this a whole lot. And the young bucks aren't saying a whole lot about this at all. And I think the reason why, here's the reason why, is because they know something's wrong, but they're afraid to say it because they think it will fuck up their future career. So they're just hoping that let's just let them deal with this, and then maybe later on in like 30 or 40 years when I'm president, maybe, in their mind, then we can release this. They're cowards? It's not that they're cowards. They know that they don't have a winning hand. Cigarette Man, thanks for 25 subs. Yeah, they don't have they don't have a winning hand, and they can't do anything. That's the reason why. Yeah, fucking right. They'll release it. I think that we'll get all of these files. I think we will. I think we'll find out everybody was involved in 50 years when they're all dead. Same as we did with MLK and JFK. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, in 50 years, when everybody's dead, then yeah, of course we'll get it.
You've got Dan and you've got Pam, and we've already discussed that memo in full detail. I'm talking about people behind the scenes who, prior to Trump taking office, I'm not going to get too specific, but trust me, I have high-level sources who have said they don't believe any of that. Any of that. Okay. So, and I'm not going to out them for purposes of convincing you, but you're telling me name them. No, I'm not going to. I don't have authorization.
I'm not saying
and then you say, well, I dismiss all of it because you won't name them.
Hold on, Megan, I'm not saying you should name them. I'm saying they should name themselves because otherwise they are being complicit in one of the greatest cover-ups in the history of the American Republic.
That's easy for you to say.
He's right.
Hey, Ben. That's very easy for you to say.
Why is that easy for me to say? Why?
Because you'll have your job and you'll have your millions, no matter what they do.
Megan, give me a break. If somebody came out today and they were a whistleblower on the greatest scandal in the history of the American Republic, they would make more money tomorrow than in their entire life working for the FBI.
He's completely fucking right. He is. He's totally right about that.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
And then they'd be dead the day after that.
There are reasons not to cross the people who are in charge. And that's all I'm going to say. And look, this is me not having drawn a conclusion. I don't know what the truth is. I've been reporting in a way. I mean, I see you've taken a side that you've chosen to believe the story that's being offered, and that's fine. A lot of people have. I'm not there yet. I don't actively say that there's a pedophile ring. I don't say any of that. I'm just following the facts, and we're not at the place where I can draw that conclusion.
Well, no, I can draw the conclusion that the evidence that I'm seeing and the people who are speaking about it lead me toward this particular conclusion. And if counter evidence is presented that is not speculative, then
Has it ever occurred to you why counter evidence isn't being presented? Why is it that they aren't providing counter evidence, even though there are certain obvious questions that you should be asking? Doesn't that seem interesting to me?
There is none.
will change my conclusion, because that's what I've done on this case. Until this memo came out, I was weighing toward the more extreme version of this theory, and you can look back at my tweets and what I've said about it.
Yes.
And then this came out, and now my perspective has changed. When the facts change and the people who are
I
speaking
guess I'm
change,
just not
then my
that trusting
opinion
of
changes.
government. There are other facts.
I don't see how you can trust them at all. I mean,
Right.
really, like, how can you
What's there to
possibly
fucking
trust
trust?
them after this is the same? Like, you're trusting the government categorically after they just made up a bunch of bullshit about Biden being totally fine. And then you even had Biden's primary doctor who pleaded the fifth about whether Biden was fucked up in the head when he was the president. Like, it's an appeal to authority.
Something like that.
It is an appeal to authority because their authority has no relevance here. An appeal to authority is when you use a person's credibility in a way that it's not necessarily intended for or it doesn't make sense in. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on, man. They're acting like Blizzard. They're acting like anyone puts this up on White House website's primary source. Yeah, not that trusting of a government, believing in government that's saying it's bullshit. Yeah, I mean, the scariest sentence in the English language is we're the government and we're here to help, from Ronald Reagan. Yeah, sure. And so counter evidence, everybody says it exists. Nobody denies it. Everybody says not to disclose it now. It's fake. Yeah, I mean, how is it that, like, I mean, how do you reconcile all of these people talking about it and then, oh, here we go. This is another one.
We
Here
have
we
some
go.
breaking news for
Sorry
you
about
on
that.
this program that I just learned about Dan Bongino
We don't
and
know if
his
this is
future
true.
at the FBI. Because we know Dan, he's been a bit of a mentor to me, quite frankly. He's always been very helpful in our show, even calling me randomly to give me pointers on certain things. He's just
Nice
been a wise
guy.
advisor. He's always been good, and he's been solid. He cares a lot about this country, and he has a heart of gold and a very big heart. And he's somebody that wants to make it a better place. And the fallout from the Epstein saga, of course, caused Dan to say, it's going to be really tough to return to my show, you know, to do what I love to do after all of this.
A little
If it
awkward,
really
you know?
goes south, you know, will people trust me? Because they don't trust this stuff, and we haven't done it in the right way. Now, I called a number of people with direct knowledge of this, and this was Dan's frustration, is that the disclosures were not great, and the way that it was handled and the way that it was released was not great, and that he was being blamed in part for it. And so Dan didn't show up to work and sort of gave an ultimatum to President Trump and said, hey, listen, Pam Bondi either goes or I go. And he and Pam Bondi had quite a bit of a blow up at the White House on Wednesday. Dan hadn't showed up to work since, and I don't want to see Dan go. Neither did the American people, by the way.
It's Bongino or Bondi. He's not
Who
saying...
would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bondi?
Yeah.
7,000 to 0.
They want Dan.
I just did some phone calls.
Obviously.
And I found out that Dan Bongino not only is back working at the FBI, that cooler heads have prevailed here, that Dan is actually working on something very, very important, and also everything's changed. There is a positive mood for Dan, according to my source, after further internal movement towards Epstein disclosures and transparency. Trump team is back together and locking in. That's what I was told directly by my source. But this is what else I got from another
I'll
source.
believe this when I see some evidence, right? Check
Yeah.
out alerts after. I'll look after
There
that.
are some big things happening that we may not be able to see right now, but it's been very positive. All of you in the comment section, posting on X, writing right here, letting your voice be heard in whatever way that you do that, it's worked. Further sources confirm to
has.
me there's
It's been
going to be a
very
major
effective.
change in approach to the way that this Epstein file will be handled by the administration. Expect more disclosures. Very powerful people inside the admin are now pushing for a special counsel. Full press briefing on Epstein findings. Important to note that this drastic change happened after our voices were heard, but also Steve Bannon.
Remember, I told y'all molding about this would work. I said this shit would work.
Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and a number of other people,
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, really locking in and
This
giving
is
some tough
all
love.
you can see on the fucking internet right
This
now.
is why I said
That's
this
it.
before. Music is off the small indie vibes of Blizzard. Yeah, I know music a bit weird. But anyway, let me see what the fuck this other thing is here. But yeah, no, I've felt this way about it for a while, just because of how ridiculous this shit is. Officials say metadata from the raw Epstein prison video shows approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds were removed from one of the 2 stitched together clips. The cut starts right at the missing minute. Ah, wow, that's convenient. Damn. Okay, well, that pretty much that settles it. Okay. Well, so now it's not even 1 minute, it's almost 3 minutes. That's
Holy fuck.
crazy. Yeah, is it 1 minute or 2? Well, this is the way, and again, there's no real way to be sure about any of this stuff, right? We can't be 100% certain about it, but, you know, again, we'll have to find, it keeps getting longer. Yeah, I think so. The clip isn't even of the cell. It helps nothing and it proves nothing. Yeah, it's just bullshit, man. I don't know why people are putting up with this. It's speed running. Yeah, I guess so. And this is what's crazy about it too. Even Kevin Spacey came out and said something about this. I would have never fucking expected that. I'll tell you that.
Really?
Like what Kevin Spacey is throwing in his 2 cents about this. What is this? And so, who was listed as a passenger who was listed as a passenger on the Lolita Express has called for the immediate release of the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. So here's another thing that I find is interesting. Spacey, allegations, outcome. Kevin Spacey was acquitted of all sexual assault charges in the UK trial in 2023, following the UK trial, which has been paused pending an outcome. And so why isn't anybody talking about Kevin Spacey's acquittal? He got acquitted. He won the ruling. So this is what I think is very funny about this, is that this guy got accused. He's still canceled, though. Yeah, he might still be a weirdo, but certainly, yeah, innocent man. Well, I don't know about innocent, but some of the things certainly aren't true. People like to stick to what they think, and society's gotten confused between facts. Just because he was found not guilty in court doesn't mean he's not an absolute pervert. I understand the evidence better than the people, the jury and the judge. I understand it much better, for sure. Acquitted doesn't mean that he's innocent. Bill Cosby is also walking free right now. Is he really? I don't know about that. And
yeah, he got released.
Yeah, exactly. And so this guy is, he did get acquitted, but he's probably still weird. Yeah, I think he's probably still weird in one way or another, but at least it's not as bad as we thought, right? And so anyway, wow. So even he who was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet wants to have it released. Wow. When are you innocent? When the internet when making a tweet about you being innocent gets a lot of likes. That's the way that you can tell and be sure about it, okay? And I've heard it gets a lot. Being a pervert was against the law. This stream would be getting 2K viewers. Listen, I am I do not do that's not okay. Well, all right. So here's the thing. That shit was weird that he did, right? I mean, like, that shit was really weird. Like, that was crazy. Who does that?
That was fucking nuts.
Acquittal is a formal declaration. The defendant is not guilty of the crime they're charged with in the law. Yeah, Bill Cosby was released in prison in 2021 after they overturned his 2018 sexual assault conviction. Yeah, I guess so. This man is one of the biggest peddlers of all. He's bluffing. He knows they won't release the files. Not much to lose for Kevin Spacey. Yeah, I guess so. How Ghislaine Maxwell once sat on Buckingham Palace thrones with Kevin Spacey. And this was man, these people, like, how did they get the, who let them do that? Isn't that weird? That's crazy. Who would do that? Well, what if Trump released the Epstein list tomorrow, names all of them and pardons them, including himself, live on TV? How about that for some content? That would be very good content. I'll certainly tell you that. Now we know why the files will never be released. I guess so. And I just think that's why he's only doing this now because he knows it won't be released. He's guilty as fuck. I don't think he cares. Like, the guy's life got totally fucking destroyed. I mean, I'm going to be totally honest, right? I mean, his life got totally fucking destroyed by these allegations. So he has nothing to lose. There's no reason for him not to say this. And so, yeah, and yeah, you release the Epstein files, all of them, for those of us with nothing to fear. The truth can't come soon enough. I hate this to make the bad thing. You know they aren't going to come out now, so you pretend like you want them. Nice try. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe, right? And so there you go. Trump possibly used Epstein's client list to blackmail business leaders into absorbing tariffs, preventing inflation. Well, you can't let people do that, right? I mean, that's never going to work. And also, like, that'll eventually backfire at one way or another. You can't be doing stuff that way. Nothing. Yeah, there it is. And Kevin Spacey accuser dies by suicide the day after the actor posts "Killed them with kindness" video. Kevin Spacey won't face criminal charges in groping case after accuser's death. It's crazy. This guy has plot armor or something, right? That's crazy. How does that happen?
Fucking
what are the
nuts.
odds? Video is sick as fuck. Yeah, I never watched the video that Tucker Carlson did with him or anything like that. And so, yeah, I guess we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But Kevin Spacey was banned from Epstein Island. No, that's just, no. Bro, this is some crazy, yeah, no, bro. Like, we're not getting into that. I'm not even going to read that bullshit. Yeah, maybe use resurrection spell. I guess so, right? Too much of a degen? Yeah, no, that's just some crazy fucking Trump Karen. I wouldn't take it all that seriously. Let me go back down. I'll see if there's any more of these here too. But oh, this is the last one that we'll probably look at. This is from yesterday. Remember whenever people said that it was fake? What I said about this was fake? Well, here's the video that it's not fake. Isn't that crazy? Wow. There's so many gaslighters on this topic on Twitter. It's insane. I think that, so here's the problem and here's the reason why it's happening. Let me explain why. So a lot of people don't want to accept the reality that this is actually happening, and it's a legitimate problem. And because they're afraid of accepting that reality, most people are attached to, and they only think in terms of people, and they can't think in terms of ideas. And because of that, they have to tie their values to a person rather than to the idea itself. So that's why you have so many people that are so, like, mindlessly fucking for or against Trump. It's because, again, they can't think about ideas, so they think about people instead. And because of that, they can't accept any ambiguity with certain individuals. So because they can't accept ambiguity with certain individuals, it leads them to lie to themselves because they don't want to accept that certain people are flawed and they can have some good ideas and some bad ideas, which is true with anyone. And so that's really what the problem is more than anything. And so why is she happy? The weakest minds? Well, that's it. Respect ideas, not people. Yes. And so that's really what happens in general. Everybody has pros and cons. Yeah, nobody's perfect. And if you can't contextualize that, you're going to have a lot of problems. Talking about cognitive dissonance, the mind is uncomfortable with things they don't understand since they can't control it. Well, it's more that they thought that they liked this person, and they thought this person was perfect, and this person was the solution for all their problems. And it turns out that this person is actually not perfect, and they have some things wrong with them. And I think that that makes these people uncomfortable. And because they're so uncomfortable, they're trying to look for a way to justify why it's okay. That's it. It's a childish worldview? Yeah, but you can say that, but that's the way that a lot of people think. That's the reason why people stand so hard.
What would be your advice? You know, given this back and forth, you know, we're just coming off of Turning Point here in Tampa. You know, this was the topic of conversation. What would be your advice in order to take the temperature down on this issue from within the administration?
Well, I do think that there needs to be more transparency on this, and I think that will happen. I mean,
you think?
Look, I don't
really
know what truly exists there, but I know that this is something that's important to the president as well. He does want transparency on all these fronts, everything we're talking about, because it's frustrating him as well. He sat for 4 years like the rest of us did and saw lie after lie and saw our country just being sent down the wrong path. And it was really
okay.
And I would actually say over the past 10 years,
I would have believed that if you would have just released the files.
Happening, Benny, but we just weren't as aware of it. It wasn't until Donald Trump came down that golden escalator that he just kind of blew the doors off of everything, and people started to wake up and realize, wait a minute, things are not.
Everybody's waking up. Why is he wanting to go back to sleep? You can't wake
Right.
everybody up and be like, all right, guys, never mind.
As
False
they have
alarm.
always been presented to us.
I made it up.
And I do believe that you can see that. No, as
That's
it relates to
exactly what
President,
happened.
I know that this is probably not his number one thing he's focused on. He's focused on a lot of other important things. We've got
Sure.
this big announcement with
A
Russia
lot.
going on. I think as we're speaking
I'm on
right
a
now at
lot
the
of
White
things
House,
right now.
we have, a Middle East. We're trying to get peace over there. We're trying to make sure that
I'm the
Iran's nuclear,
president.
arsenal is obviously
I got a lot
decimated.
going on.
We want to make sure everything is on the right track for this country. Fortunately, you've seen no border crossings in the last month. Zero, by the way.
Great.
I think that's incredible. No one's talking about that enough. Zero illegal border crossings in the month of June. Amazing
Awesome.
how that's all gone. So I don't know that this was top of mind for him, but he hears all the noise and he hears all of the consternation out there. And I think he's going to want to set things right as well. So I believe that there will probably be more coming on this. And
If he doesn't set this right, he's going to lose the Republicans, the midterms, the whole thing. He's going to lose the whole thing, and there's probably going to be a Democrat that gets elected for the next president. That's what's going to happen.
Exactly what's going to happen. 100%.
Yep.
I'm not going to vote for him if he doesn't do this.
I believe anything that
This
they
is
are
what I
able-
voted
Even
for.
after
I'm not going to
Iran?
vote again.
release that doesn't, damage any witnesses or anyone underage or anything like that. I believe they'll probably try to get out sooner rather than later because they hear it and they understand it. So
I don't know about that. Okay, clip it.
hopefully we see that happen
Clip it.
sooner than later.
Clip
And
it.
that, I guess that
Clip
would be
it.
my advice. But to everybody out there who's all worked up about it, there's no great plot to keep this information away that I'm aware of. I do just believe that maybe
That I'm aware of.
it's been slow roll.
You don't even know what the information is. You said at the beginning you don't even know what the information is, but now you're saying that there's not a plot to keep it under wraps. How would you know that there's not a plot if you don't even know what it is in the first place?
for reasons that hopefully we understand down the line. And I think we're probably going to get more transparency on it very soon.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And again, it won't get released. Asmon, too much money and power involved, I believe. Well, all of these people's money and power, I hope this is true. Yeah, all of their money and power is tied to their influence and their ability to have people vote for them. So if that doesn't happen, then they totally fall apart. And that's what it is. Shout out Barron Trump trying to maybe if Barron, they need to get Barron Trump to tell like Dad, you need to put it out. They're really no, I know. Yeah, no. But they're actually mad about this one for real. Like, you got to at least put out like 3 names or something like that. Like, do something. You know, Barron will release it. Yeah, somebody got to do it.
We need something.
Wouldn't it be funny if Democrats and Republicans both start protesting and get the files released? I mean, again, I think that, you know, this has united people in a way that I didn't expect it. So, yeah, I think that's a good thing.
I know everybody's united over this shit. I don't blame them. Do not blame them. It's messed up. We need justice.
I don't
Blaming.
even believe this, bro. Like, oh.
First breaking tonight, President Trump says his attorney general should release whatever documents she thinks are credible concerning the late businessman and convicted sexual predator.
I told y'all complaining about shit worked. I told y'all, and by the way, this is not the this is not the end of it. Like, they're gonna release some bullshit. Like, you know for a fact they're gonna release some bullshit. But this is the way I see it, is that if you can get people to make any degree of like capitulation, you can continue doing it more and more.
Jeffrey Epstein. It's his latest comment in the ongoing controversy that has split many of the
It's going
president's
to be redacted.
supporters.
Yeah, and if it's all redacted, people are going to lose their fucking minds, man. Everybody's going to go crazy about this.
Meanwhile, there is new pressure tonight on
It's gonna
Attorney
make it
General
worse.
Pam Bondi from
So either if you think it's all going to be redacted, then you should want it to be released, because that will Streisand affect this even more. There is no negative outcome that happens when these files get released. Every outcome is positive.
spot the top Republican in the House, the Speaker. Correspondent David Spahn has the story for us tonight. Good evening, David. I mean, this story does not go away here.
It's really not right now, at least, Brett. And Attorney General Pam Bondi is breaking her silence on this Epstein matter following a week of intense blowback from the MAGA base.
Yeah.
She says, though, she's staying put despite calls for her to go.
I'm going to be here for as long as the president wants me here, and I believe he's made that crystal clear. It's 4 years, well, 3.5 now, right? On anything else?
Bondi, at an unrelated event on fentanyl today, declined to expand on the reported fracture in her relationship with Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino, who threatened last week to quit over the DOJ's closure
This
of
is
the...
all, I mean, she doesn't need to comment on that. That's all stuff that people are reporting on that wasn't even fucking confirmed.
Epstein case with a 2-page memo.
No, I wouldn't respond to
discuss
it either.
personnel matters. I think we all are committed to working together now to make America safe again, and that's what we're doing.
House Speaker Mike Johnson pushing Bondi to do a little bit more, though. Watch.
She needs to come forward and explain that to everybody. I like Pam. I mean, I think she's done a good job. We need the DOJ focusing on the major priorities, so let's get this thing resolved.
Well, today, President Trump, who's been tamping down the Epstein story and endorsing Pam Bondi, gave her some new latitude.
The Attorney General's handled that.
I told you guys. I told y'all, keep malding. Never stop malding.
Very well. She's really done a very good job. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release.
However, Jeffrey Epstein's former lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, says it may not be up to Bondi.
Many of the things that are being suppressed by 2 judges in Manhattan, and they're doing it largely to protect the alleged accusers who are, in the view of the judges, victims. Pam Bondi and the Justice Department and Donald Trump are not responsible for that.
They can do whatever the fuck they want. What do you think is going to happen? What happens if they release it? Nothing. They can't do shit to him. Yeah, nothing. Like, yeah, just put it out anyway.
The reason Ghislaine Maxwell, former girlfriend and associate to Jeffrey Epstein, is appealing her conviction to the U.S. Supreme Court. But, Brett, the DOJ is asking the Supreme Court to deny Maxwell's review of the case.
I wonder why.
And leave her in prison where she's serving a 20year sentence for conspiring with Epstein in his abuse.
That's a
of
long
underage
time.
girls. Brett?
But what's interesting is if Dershowitz is right, and it seems like he is pretty knowledgeable on this and has been a part of some of these cases, you wonder why the Attorney General is not saying all of that publicly, or the communication strategy here.
It's something that Dershowitz, yes, says it's up to 2 different judges. President Trump today, for the first time, we've heard him say that she has some more latitude to give out some more information. So we're going to see if she does provide some more information.
We'll track it all here.
See, it's like, why is it, if you want this information to come out, why do they not want her to just come out and testify on live camera who did it and who was involved? Because, like, like, to me, if I was looking to get to the bottom of this, I would want to talk to her. I would say, hey, listen, we'll give you a plea deal. We'll reduce your sentence. We'll do a number of things for you, but you've got to give us some names and also credible ways to verify them. You're wrong, sir. Complaining with them doesn't work with Trump. Complaining won't work on fucking stupid Democratic Party, for example. 80% of them telling you no guys and women's sports and bathrooms. They'll keep pushing it. No, they won't. Look at Gavin Newsom. You're already seeing Democrats pushing and pulling away from that. They're already trying to distance themselves from, like, gender ideology. They are trying to.
David, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Does she get whacked if they did that? Then threaten to kill her if she doesn't. Problem solved. Say, okay, well, you're dead. You spend the rest of your life in prison, or you testify anyway. Problem solved. And she's dead. Yeah, she's dead anyway. Like, she's gonna die in prison regardless. Yeah, but yeah, she already in prison. Exactly. Like, the thing is that, again, if you want to solve problems like this, you have to be aggressive. You do. And if you don't do that, you're going to lose. That's it.
That's how it always works.
Yeah, she's going to life in prison either way. Yeah, exactly. How did she
Exactly.
get all that way into prison all that life without being the info extracted? Well, the reason why is she'll self-die, though, same as he did. Well, there's an easy way to make sure that happens. Testifying under duress isn't admissible in court. Well, of course not. No. I mean, like, and that's the thing, is you wouldn't use the testify. Like, having her testify isn't really the main thing. It's having her show you where to find the breadcrumbs and find out the information. Like, because I think that once you start giving out names, and especially once other people are implicated, then things
and you look into
begin
them
unraveling.
Yeah.
All you need to do is to begin the dominoes. It's not something that like happens. Yeah, she already guilty, right? Yeah, you just begin this, and everything else falls apart after that. Can you imagine if she was to testify days before is found dead? Well, I mean, yeah, obviously if that happened, people would lose their minds. And they should. I think they absolutely should. 100%. But yeah, and so I told you guys, I fucking told you, I said that the videos and the people that are posting this and on social media, I said this would make a difference, and it is beginning to make a difference. Why the fuck are they talking about it at all? It's very clear that Donald Trump wants this to go away. It's very, very clear. And that's the reason why you can't let it go away. That's it. You're describing brinksmanship? Of course, because it works. And so, like, again, he's just going to release some bullshit. Well, that's a good thing, though, right? Because if he releases a bunch of bullshit, that's good. Because now you have more elements and more points of difference where you can say, this is another thing that he lied about. This is another thing he said he was going to do that didn't happen. That's the reason why. So like, yes, exactly. And so literally any outcome is a win. And that's what I think people aren't understanding here. Any outcome here is a win. Seems like Trump is on the list at this point. The way he keeps saying it was made by leftists. Yeah, I think so too. But Asgo, I thought you were a MAGA-tard. The thing is that I've always been a person who supports ideas and not people. Like there are people who I think embody a lot of the ideas that I agree with, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I support this person universally, right? And I think this is the difference that a lot of people don't understand. Is that I've always been like this, and people have tried to turn me into this person who's like a zealot or somebody who's like a lockstep. Oh, I believe everything that Donald Trump tells me. I've never been
like he's locked in.
That's never been what I've done at all. And so the people making that up are just doing it maliciously. That's all there is to it. And by deflecting or denying it altogether, shouldn't that make them guilty of perjury? Well, again, you have to create an outcome that is worse than them doing what they want in order to change behavior. That's what you do. Maxwell will be 80 when she's released from prison. She has nothing to lose. Yeah, I think there's definitely that too. Did you see a JD Vance Disneyland video? No, I didn't see that. The Democrats had the Epstein files, saw Trump was on the list, and just held on to it from 2020 to 2024. Eye roll? No, I think that you're right. I think you're completely right. And the odds are that, I mean, and also I would assume that the first people, because Epstein killed himself in 2019. So the people, and also keep in mind, Biden didn't take office until 2021. Right. So if there was anything that implicated Donald Trump would have been the first person who would have had access to doing that, assuming that he could do that. Kill himself? Well, I don't know whether he did or not. Does it matter? It doesn't matter whether he did or not. Who cares? The problem's who's implicated, not whether he killed himself or not. Who gives a shit about that? It kind of matters. The only reason why it matters is because of what it implies. That's the reason why it matters. It doesn't matter in and of itself. If both parties are on the list and there's a third one, that's what I've always said. I think that there's a third one.
True. That's what I think. Third party.
California pot farm owner's ties to Newsom.
And now we're getting new details about the California pot farm, which became the scene of a massive standoff between ICE agents and protesters last week. Agents managed to apprehend over 360 illegal immigrants at the farm, including
360. That's a lot. That's crazy.
Bro. Little slave farm right in front of you.
Too? Why were the kids in a
Bro.
Why were there? What the hell?
Free labor. What do you mean?
minors. And now we're learning more about the farm's owner. Glasshouse Farms president and co-founder Graham Farrar has been called a pioneer in growing so-called environmentally friendly cannabis.
Yeah.
And he has a history of donating to Democratic candidates and causes.
Oh, here it is.
I bet he does. Hey, no, it makes sense, right? I mean, again, no, if I was him, I'd be doing the same thing.
Including a hefty $10,000
Why isn't this guy in jail for employing 300-something illegals?
Yeah.
What the hell? Because this is the thing, like, I don't even, like, the illegals that come over here and they're working, especially the kids, do you think I'm holding it against the kids and these illegals? No, they're just trying to do the best thing that they can for themselves, their lives, and their family. Like, I understand that.
Exactly.
But it's people like this guy that are taking advantage of them. They're abusing their labor, and what they're doing really is that
slave labor.
Hurting everybody else in the economy. Because now you have other providers in other farming areas that now, how the fuck can they compete against this guy who's utilizing illegal child labor, and he's probably paying them, I don't know, is he paying them on Snickers bars? I don't know. But it's probably certainly not the United States minimum wage. This is crazy. He should be in jail. This needs to stop. They need to start arresting the owners. Yes. The problem of what happens is that the owners never face repercussions.
Why is that?
I don't place any moral evil, maybe a very minor moral evil, on the people that are coming over to the country illegally, because they are just simply trying to live their best life. That, like, really, if I was in fucking one of those PvP servers down there, I would be trying everything that I could to get to America also. I would. And wouldn't you? I would absolutely be doing that. So, like, it doesn't mean we should let them all in. Of course not, right? And for each business owner who hires illegals we deport, one illegal can stay in his place. Yeah, he gets to pick the illegal alien that he was employing that's going to get replaced with him. Yeah, there you go. And reparations coming for underpaid migrants. Yeah, I mean, in a way, I mean, I think so. I mean, that would be fair. So he's helping them with wages and the families who can't afford housing and American education. Well, he's certainly helping himself. I'll tell you that. That's the primarily thing. Rich people aren't held accountable of anything. Well, I mean, again, it's easy to do. Do you think the money was made? He just laundered it to Democrats? Well, that's what he's saying. The guy could easily hold ICE over employees' heads if they want to quit or have poor performance. Employers can be very cruel to them. Well, this is one thing. I'm going to pull you up real quick and just show this message to the chat, because this is one of the things that a lot of people need to understand, is that when you have the ability, like whenever you're dealing with somebody like this illegally, you have an extra level of control that a employer should not have over an employee. This is an unhealthy and a bad relationship for an employer to have. How the fuck do you know that? Because it's common sense.
To Gavin Newsom back in 2018.
Wait a minute.
Meanwhile,
Hold
Democratic
up.
candidates and causes, including a hefty $10,000 donation to Gavin Newsom back in 2018. Meanwhile, Democratic California leaders are still working to oppose immigration enforcement however they can. That includes Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, who's rolling out a new plan to give cash cards to families allegedly threatened by ICE.
What are you going to do?
But we also are going to have
What are you gonna do?
reinstitution of the Angelino card, something that Mayor Garcetti started during COVID that will actually provide cash assistance to people. Because, you know, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash. It's a couple $100, I don't know the exact amount, and this should be available in about a week.
Unbelievable. Where's my $200 cash card? So you're sending this money over to these illegal aliens that are afraid of ICE, but not to the people that are actually paying the taxes?
Steve, so like we talked about, you are
God.
staunchly in the lead in California gubernatorial polls right now. So talk to us, how and why does your message resonate with the majority of Californians right now on these topics?
This is such a great, terrible example of what's been going wrong in California, because you've got people in charge who not only won't enforce the law, they undermine the law. And you're seeing it on this issue of illegal immigration, and it's playing out for the whole country to see. But we've also seen it on crime more generally, the way that retail theft, shoplifting's been tolerated. We've seen it on
He's completely right about this.
homelessness. It's illegal for these encampments to be there. They've been there for years, and these
Baldy is cooking.
Politicians have done nothing about it. Now you have federal law being enforced by the federal administration, and they're saying, not only we're not going to help you, we're going to stand in your way, we're going to cheer on the people who are throwing rocks at our law enforcement agents, and we're going to pay for the organizations that are protesting this. And all of it could be avoided if they would just work with ICE to get these dangerous criminals out of our country. And it's not just federal law that they're breaking when they don't do that, even state law, even the California sanctuary state law has a provision in it that allows for discretion for local law enforcement to work with ICE when you're talking about people who in the last 15 years have been convicted of a long list of crimes. This lawlessness has to stop, and that's what I will do as governor.
Quick follow-up for you, Steve.
I don't know why why does Trump even let that sanctuary city shit happen? Because, like, if I was him, like, what I would do is I would just cut off all the funding for the entire state until they got rid of it. Just straight up. Cut it off. And if they want it back, then get rid of the rules. Yeah, turn off the tap. Yeah, because the thing is that they're never going to stop doing it until they face consequences for it. The judge won't let them. Do it anyway. Who cares? Fuck them. Like, these people are actively subverting the law, but then you want to use the argument that, oh, well, he has to follow the law while they actively subvert the law? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, as president, do it. Yeah, it's insane. Cut off the funding. Yeah, and I don't know why you're letting this happen. And I feel like that's what, don't interrupt your enemy while they're making mistakes. I think they've been making these mistakes for 30 years, and it's allowed them to consolidate power and influence. I feel like these mistakes are turning into strategies. I think that would be it. States aren't required to enforce immigration law. That's why no one gets in trouble. Well, the sanctuary city laws are different than just states not enforcing the law, especially with them letting certain criminals out for no reason. Like, if you're letting people out of jail because, like, they're not a legal citizen, that's a totally different thing.
Because the current governor, Gavin Newsom, who has enjoyed donations by that pop farm owner before he came out lambasting federal involvement there, you know, his prior comments were sort of clearly moderate. Was, you know, don't come illegally and we're going to deport you, and I'm all for legal immigration, etc. But now it seems that he's gone extremely radical, certainly on recent podcasts. It's a stark contrast. He's clearly running for the national stage. Talk to us about what that impact is on current Californians who need a governor now.
Well, it seems that he's really not interested in doing his job as governor of California, because what's he doing? He's going on all these podcasts. He's in South Carolina last week. He's trolling President Trump on social media. I mean, these are the things that
he's trying to set himself up to run for president. That's the reason why. Because none of the other people that are Democratic, like, front runners have any realistic shot at being president. Like, AOC doesn't have a shot at being president. Bernie Sanders is way too old. Like, a lot of the other people that they have out there are just kind of random nobodies and retards. Like, Tim Walz is a fucking idiot. Like, it's not going to happen. So, really, that's the reason why I think he's doing it. Kamala can win. I've got a feeling it's not going to happen, okay?
A far remove from the policy challenges we have in California. You've got the highest rate of poverty in the country.
Buttigieg? That's not going to happen. I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't think the American general public is ready for a gay person to be the president yet. Straight up. I don't think so. Look at his poll numbers. Look at the way that people voted for him in the Democratic primary. That's crazy. I guess I'm crazy. Obama?
Country. We pay the highest taxes, the highest costs for gas, electricity, water. We had the highest unemployment rate in the whole country for most of last year. Where is the response to any of that? It's non-existent.
Bessent's gay. Bessent wasn't running for president. Scott Bessent's gay. There's plenty of other gays, plenty of other guys that are gay that are involved in Trump's fucking, like, I know it's him. It's like one other guy. Oh, Peter Thiel, who's not directly involved, but like kind of, right? No, absolutely. So the thing is that a lot of groups do not have the same forward thinking. Like, I think people vastly underestimate the amount of homophobia there is in the country. They dramatically underestimate it.
The kind of serious change that we need to see. But instead, you've got Karen Bass just worrying about her own re-election next year for mayor of Los Angeles after the disaster of the wildfires. Gavin Newsom clearly focused on running for president. We need someone who's going to deal with our problems in California.
So I'm looking at what you gave me, the California governor statewide polls, sample size 2012 registered voters. This is a big poll. Steve Hilton leading by 19% over Katie Porter. It's tight with her until you factor in those people who can't quite make up their minds.
Especially whenever you have all the LGBTQ stuff going on right now. Yeah. Do you think we'll see a woman president or first LGBT president first? I think woman president's much more likely. I do. You've got to keep in mind that, like, gay marriage got legalized in like 2015 or something, and women have been able to vote for almost 100 years. So no, and I do think also, again, and this follows voting as well, because like black men were able to vote before white women were.
As undecided, you say there's about 30% of the electorate out there that hasn't made up their minds. Then the gap between you and Katie Porter gets greater. You factor in Kamala Harris, Katie Porter falls to third place, and you and Kamala are battling it out. So talk to me. I don't know that those candidates that I'm looking at here are attacking any of the things that we're reporting on.
No.
I mean, everything that Emily just set up, I don't see it coming from them.
No, and the interesting thing is that we've had 15 years now of one-party rule in California, and the results are there. It's the worst results on everything that matters, the highest housing costs. I could go on all hour about everything that's gone wrong, but of course what people want is someone to put things right, a positive change, and I think that's what people are responding to, and what's encouraging. Look, it's very early. You know, the election is next June. We've barely begun campaigning, but what's really clear is that I'm there as the leading challenger, which whatever the scenario is, whether it's Kamala Harris or Katie Porter, any of these people, I'm the leading challenger to this 15 years of one-party rule. By the way, it'll be a big thing for the country if we can save California. We're the fourth biggest economy in the world. Imagine how far we could power.
It's actually crazy how big California is. I mean, California is the biggest economy in the entire country for sure. It has the most people in it also. So, like, that's one of the really big reasons why it's important that California doesn't totally turn into a fucking a PvP server, right? Do you think Republicans have a shot at winning California? I don't think so. I actually don't. I don't think so. I don't think things have gotten bad enough. Like, I mean, that's my honest answer is no. But I think that it will trend in that direction. But who knows what's going to happen in like 5 years, right? I have no idea. Or 10 years. Give it 10 more years at most, maybe, right?
again, with real positive leadership.
Well, it's also just bringing sanity back to California and the country. And what happened at these
Republican
farms
one.
in
Yeah.
California, these pot farms, is the definition of insanity. And it gives you a perspective on the Democrat Party's worldview where heroes are villains and villains are heroes. Let's look at the play-by-play. So on July 10th, you have ICE and other federal authorities go and raid these pot farms. They arrest at least 360 illegal aliens, 14 children they found that they were worried about that had been rescued from potential exploitation, forced labor, and human trafficking. 10 were unaccompanied. And then, by the way, some of these individuals they arrested, guess what they've been convicted of? You've got rape, child molestation, kidnapping during the operation, according to DHS. So instead of saying, hey, look, that's really good, right? Let's praise ICE officials for saving these children, rescuing these children. What happened?
No, so some of these people, like, it's crazy that it even happens. It really is. Like, I can't even believe this shit.
You had hundreds go in protest, including, attacking federal agents, firing a gun at a federal agent, and then you have a congressman accused of doxing one of the ICE agents as well on top of it. And then, oh, by the way, just to sum it all up, the owner of the pot farm donated.
Well, how's somebody convicted of rape and a DUI and they're not in jail? I mean, because these are like, this is kind of what I was saying before, is like, if these people are convicted and nothing happens to them, like, this is like, these are federal laws, right? I mean, like, raping people, like, these are federal charges in a lot of these cases. How is it that nothing ever happens? Like, and this is the reason why also I think that they have a justification to just cut all the funding, because like, they're not following the federal law.
To Democrats. Does that not tell you everything about today's Democrat Party and what's wrong with this party?
And Rosanna, we've seen polls just recently that reflect that the majority of Americans across the board now support illegal immigration deportation in addition to those with criminal records. So the fact that you have these state officials that are refusing to work with ICE officials, that are straight up obstructing the federal government in their execution of these duties that were a mandate by the American people, and you contrast that with the will of the people, it's horrifying.
I mean, you look at Mayor Bass, right? She's offering gift cards out. She's not saying exactly how much is on those gift cards. She doesn't know. She doesn't know.
Wow. By the way, like, yeah, that's kind of a good point. Like, you don't even know how much money is going to be on the card. What the fuck? Like, aren't you supposed to be in charge of this? You don't even know what's going on. Pam Bondi is right to arrest a lot of people in the government. She plays defense, not offense. She's terrible. Yeah, I think so. And that's really what the problem is that judges and DAs need to be visited by the same people they willingly let loose among the citizenry. No, I just think they need to be arrested. It's very simple. Like, if they're letting these people loose and they're doing this, then why aren't they being recused or recalled? Because that's really what I would do.
Harris, do you think she doesn't know? She knows she's giving out gift cards, but she doesn't know how much is on the gift cards. Another way to keep some of those people, hidden. And the city of Los Angeles, $1 billion in debt.
Amazing. And she's handing out free money to people who are illegally here.
And Steve, and then let's not forget about the people that were, ravaged by the wildfires. I'm not talking about the celebrities. They'll be fine. I'm sure their insurance will work at some point. But there were real working class neighborhoods that were there for generations after generations that need help. Where are they? Nothing's been done in those areas, Steve.
See, that's what's crazy to me about it, is that, like, she's giving this money out to people that are just, like, not even, they're afraid of having the federal law enforced on them, and you're using resources to help them instead of helping the people who had their house burned down. Think about how ridiculous that is. That's crazy. The amount of obstruction of ICE, doxing, 20K officers. I mean, like, again, the reason, how do you prove that, do you need to prove that you're illegal? How do you need to prove you have taxpayer support? I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, California and Oregon are both sanctuary states. I get my updates and device about ICE agent locations through local Google News. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, again, like, if the federal government was aggressive enough, they could make that stuff happen. But I think that, and this is one of the reasons why I'm very frustrated with them, is that I don't think that they are extreme and aggressive enough towards especially institutions and people in high political positions. I think I actually think that the American public wants to see governors go to jail. I think they want to see big companies have like their board of directors get arrested. I think they want to see that happen. And I think Trump should give the people what they want. Yes, I do. Exactly. Like, the mayors, like these people, like the police chiefs that are letting this happen. Exactly. Fuck yeah, accountability. Like, I think people want legitimate, and I think that really, if you look at how angry and how vitriolic everybody is about the Epstein situation, I think that really goes to prove what I'm saying. People are tired of it. They're tired of it at a large scale. And I actually think that if you did that to them, yeah, you'd have some people that are saying that they're martyrs, but that's fine. Let them be martyrs. Yeah, that would never happen. They're too busy blaming illegal immigrants for the country's problems. When I see people held accountable for their actions regardless of positions, yeah, I want its big companies to have a portion of their assets seized. Yeah, exactly. Like, so if I was, like, for example, like if I was in charge of this, what would I do? I would take this guy. Maybe not him, but whoever is in charge of him, whoever owns the area. And I would figure out who was hiring these illegal aliens and who was aware that this was happening. And every single person that had knowledge of this happening, I would immediately arrest and put in jail for human trafficking. Because you knew and you were employing and you were facilitating the human trafficking of children. You were doing this. Put them all in jail. Seize all of their assets. And then you're done. That's it. They're gone. Yeah, who had to get paid. Yeah, and that's what you do. That's how you solve that public use sufficient? No, you just put them in jail. Like, I mean, there's nothing, you don't have to do anything else insane like that. Like, you just put them in jail. You can't do that in blue states? Of course you can. You can do whatever you want. You're the federal government. Like, you really think that they can't figure out a way to get around that?
Generations that need help. Where are they? Nothing's been done in those areas, Steve.
They don't even talk about it.
And people are, and the really awful thing, just very briefly, is that people are giving up the bureaucracy, the insurance, the nightmare. They're giving up, they're abandoning, and then that means you're going to lose the single.
It would stop immediately in other places too. Yeah, because like one thing that people don't talk a lot about is that a lot of people have probably already self-deported. Like they've already left the country after they've seen these ICE raids happening everywhere. Because if you self-deport, you get $1,000 and you can come back to the U.S. So if you give people a lifeline and you say, hey, you know, it's okay, you can leave now, but you have to leave, that's it. They're going to roach out. No, they haven't. Of course they have. Do you really think that people aren't doing that? Of course they are.
Family homes, they want to build apartments and destroy the California dream. It's awful.
It's so different.
The smart do that?
Florida
Yeah,
will
of course.
take them. Yeah. My home state of Arizona will take them. Yeah.
Well, it's not too late for
Fuck that.
California, thanks to leadership like you and your mission and your vision.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Go, Steve.
I think it's too late, at least for a while for that. First time business owner gets executed on his front lawn, the rest are going to hire high schoolers instead. Well, the first time, I mean, I'm not saying execute them, right? Like, I mean, I'm not even saying that. I'm being reasonable. But like what I'm saying in general is that if you have these people that are doing this stuff, I'll link you guys the video. If you have the people that are doing this, Fox News isn't real news. Well, I mean, who cares? If everything they said in there was a lie, I think that the problem still exists and it still is the same issue that I'm discussing right now. And what I'm really trying to get at here is that, again, let me see if I read this real quick. Chimpanzee cage is reasonable. Yeah, you just need to put the business owners in jail. And until you put the business owners in jail, then nothing else is going to happen or be solved. Anarchy in Europe. It's anarchy in parts of Spain, France, and the UK now? What the f?
It is anarchy in parts of Spain, France, and the UK right now as migrant gangs from Northern Africa and the Middle East violently try to take over and intimidate innocent people.
Why are there violent migrant gangs from the Middle East and North Africa and Europe? This seems like an unforced error. Really, it seems like it shouldn't happen.
Spain is currently in crisis with ongoing clashes between migrant gangs and Spaniards following the violent bashing of an elderly man in Torre Pachato.
Remember what I said yesterday about as soon as one country is able to crash out and successfully make a change because of the crash out, then you're going to have all the other ones doing it. And now you're starting to see this happen in France and also in the UK.
And again in Spain, a man with...
Has you guys been destabilizing the Middle East for the past 70 years? Then why aren't they in Saudi Arabia doing this? Why aren't they doing this over in Dubai? Dubai and Saudi Arabia are in the Middle East. Why don't you think about that? Right, come back? Yeah, think about that. So what? Yeah, who cares? Like, they know better? Yeah, they do.
The baby was callously threatened by a knife-wielding gang for simply walking down the street.
Oh, he's got the knife behind his back. You're trying to square up on a single dad with a baby? What is this?
And in the tourist mecca of Barcelona, the cobblestone laneways are no longer filled with people enjoying their vacations, but with hundreds of Muslim men chanting. This commentator sent a stark warning, saying, if you wanted to visit Barcelona, Spain, now it's looking like Islamabad, Pakistan. France is also in...
How the fuck does that happen? Yeah, how the fuck does that happen anywhere? What I think is so funny about this is the fact that a lot of the other countries in the Middle East don't take any of these people. Like, I never hear about UAE, Qatar, or Saudi Arabia, or there's one more of them. I'm not thinking of the name. They never fucking, I never hear about this problem there ever. Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, they reject them. Really?
A migration mess with violence running rampant in the streets, like at the Fête de la Musique last month, where hundreds of young people were stabbed with syringes and property set alight.
What the fuck?
Online commentators were in shock with the footage, with this person saying, this is France? This looks like Ghana, not France. And two women were left injured and terrified after their car was surrounded and destroyed by rioters following the PSG Champions League victory.
Hey, nothing says a soccer celebration like burning down a car. Ah, good.
In the UK, this
absolutely insane. Do you know what the best part about this is? This is the opening plot for V for Vendetta. That's what's so funny to me about this.
Situation is even more dire, with daily occurrences of violent bashings and stabbings by migrant groups on innocent local victims.
What's wrong with it? Well, here's the reason why it happens. The reason why it happens is because they get away with it. It's simple. They get away with it. There's enough of them in the area, and they think that nothing is going to happen to them. And that's the reason why. They don't do this in like, and this isn't, you've got to understand that like this is not simply a religious issue, because Muslim majority countries like Saudi, you think Saudi Arabia puts up with this shit? Fuck no, they don't put up with this. What do you think happens? You go around, you do this over in Dubai. You're dead. That's what happens. You're dead. And they kill you. And so the problem is that the people do this because they know they can get away with it. That's the reason why. Saudi Arabia is a dictatorship, man. They still not getting away with it over there. I mean, but they're not, well, you call it whatever you want to call it, but like they still not getting away with it. And
Knife crime is at an all-time high, with people being randomly targeted on the streets.
Let's go. Let's go.
he's got his left hand.
Let's go. Let's go.
Women's advocacy group Women's Safety Initiative is speaking up about the issue to raise awareness about the dire state of play in the UK at the moment.
Don't they like not report, like I've heard that they don't report the amount of like sexual violence that happens and like the increases. I don't know really if that's true, but I hear it a lot. Is this the country that banned ninja swords? Yes, that would be the country that bans ninja swords. That would be correct. Yes.
The silent impact of mass migration on women's daily lives in the UK is a stark reminder of the point that we have got to in this country. A country that has chosen multiculturalism over assimilation, ultimately leading to what we have now.
It's not multiculturalism, it's anti-culturalism. I mean, if you have people that are going in and they're coming into the country and raping people and stabbing them, that's not multicultural. Like, like multicultural is like whenever, you know, I go downtown to Austin and I can go to like a Italian restaurant or a Mexican restaurant or a barbecue place. Like that's multiculturalism. This isn't a culture. This is behavior. No, it is multicultural. They don't. Well, what I'm saying is like they don't do this in their own countries. They do this here because they can get away with it. Well, you're wrong. No. I really, I think that a lot of you guys don't understand. They do. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, and in some of the places they do, and that whole area is so bad that they leave.
Parallel communities with limited cross-cultural understanding. Let's take a look at Borsley Green, one of the most dangerous areas you could possibly live in Birmingham, with 181 crimes per 1,000 residents.
181 crimes per 1,000 residents. So that means 18% of people are causing trouble? Bro, I think my 2% number might have been too low. I don't know, man. This is bad. But actually, to be fair, you have 181 crimes. I bet they're committed by like probably like what, fucking 20 people. There's probably 20 people doing everything.
And a large portion of these crimes being of sexual and violent offences.
Yep.
Now let me make it clear, the demographic of this ward is significant. Less than 10% of this ward account for white British people. Violence and sexual offences constitute the largest crime category.
I think this is a big problem that they have, is that they view any sort of crackdown on this type of behavior because these people come from different cultures. And I think that there is like more of a allowance of bad behavior because they assume that cracking down on it would disproportionately affect people of a certain ethnicity. Therefore, it's racist. And I think that's the reason why they can't solve this problem. It's because they're afraid of effectively looking bad or being called racist. And so, like, because if you can't identify what a problem is, and you can't look at it and approach it in an objective way, you can never solve the problem. It's kind of like how Twitch can never solve the problem with hot tub girls, because they can never acknowledge the fact is that it's a bunch of girls that are trying to sell OnlyFans on Twitch. because by doing so, you would acknowledge that this is a one-gender problem, and in doing so, that would be sexist. So all they can do is create half measures, or it's kind of like, you know, I'm trying to think of a good way to explain this, but like they can never deal with the problem directly. They have to deal with it through like multiple levels of abstraction, so they can create plausible deniability from disingenuous people that want to accuse them of bad behavior. And that's what's happening here. It's not sexist if it's one's gender committing the problem. Well, the problem though is that people aren't willing to accept that idea, and people are still captured by the idea of, if a certain policy or a certain action disproportionately affects a group of people, then that policy or action, if it disproportionately affects a group of people who are deemed marginalized, is fundamentally racist. And it's an optics argument, right? It's something that looks bad. And I think that's really it. They don't get punished, so they do this. Well, exactly, right? They don't get punished. Why don't you cut your nails? I do. What do you mean? My nails are cut. What are you talking about? Idiot. Idiot.
Green, making up 50.3% of all crimes reported. They are averaging at about 150 to 160 violent sexual offences committed every month.
That's a lot.
And commentator,
it's like, what, fucking like 4 or 5 a day?
Matt Goodwin agreed.
So a 24-year-old man has been brutally murdered on the streets of London, outside a luxury hotel, by another man who was allegedly trying to steal his watch. This is merely the latest horrific symbol of how out of control and horrific London has become.
Jesus.
Just look at the stats. Shoplifting is up 54%. Theft from...
How are people not just putting more money into the police to arrest the people that are shoplifting? Because this is what's so crazy about it, is that it's pretty easy to solve this problem, right? You just get the police and you arrest the people, and that's it, right? Put them in jail, you're done. And I don't know what to say. Yeah, ask our leaders that, Zach. We defunded the police. Listen, and by the way, I know that I'm throwing stones in a glass house, because like I've said the same stuff about us doing this here in the U.S. Like, I realize that you guys, like, we have the same problem that you guys have, but it seems like it's even worse in Europe and parts of Europe. Obviously, Europe is made up of many countries, but like in places like the UK, France, and Spain, this seems like a huge issue. This heads up, Sky will be over exaggerating. I'm not saying it's not true. I think that it's probably really bad, and I think anybody could have expected this to happen. This video is very misleading. Well, just real quick, like, what do you think is misleading about this video? I'm in the UK and there's literally nothing happening. The clips they show are 1 to 2 years old. So about the UK, I'm not really sure. And so like some of these clips, there's nothing happening. Like, okay, so there's nothing happening to you, and that's, I don't know. I mean, he's lying. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where this guy lives. I mean, it's impossible for me to say. I mean, the things happening in Spain are happening, like they happened like 2 days ago. I mean, it sure seems like this is a problem though, right? I mean, like if you see like all this mass migration in the country, like, do you see this as a problem? Like, does this seem like an issue to you, or do you think it's good? Or maybe not good, but like a neutral effect? Yeah, he's bullshitting you? Well, I don't know if he is or not. I mean, there's no way to know at all. It's because he's ignorant of happening and discarding as a result of something else. We have some refugee problem, but there are not riots at the moment. Well, no, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't say there were riots. There's riots in Spain, but not in the UK right now, as far as I know.
The person is up 41%. 70,000 phones were stolen from people in this city last year alone. There's a rape every hour. Sexual offences are through the roof. And it's not just the crime that bothers me. London has also become a symbol for liberal progressives of how they'd like to see the rest of the country. Oh. But do you really want the rest of the country to look like London? Hundreds of thousands of people who don't speak English, our national language, hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants, hate marches on the streets of our capital city every week, pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah hate marches.
And all of this...
How can they do pro-Hamas and Hezbollah hate marches if they have all those hate speech laws over there? Like, I don't understand this. You know, I'm a UK viewer at this point. All the things are 100% big issues, mostly pointing at minorities. Of course, the video is definitely over the top, sensationalist, but not untrue. Two-tier system. I'm telling you guys, like, this is, I really think this is going to radicalize people, and they're going to vote for somebody who's like one of those like fucking like V for Vendetta level like authoritarians to like solve this problem, and I think that they'll do it militarily. I think that's clearly what's going to happen. I don't see how that's not the outcome.
Stark evidence and footage of countries overrun by violence and division. Yet their governments and leadership do.
And by the way, a lot of people are naming names. I think the level of extremism that a person is going to have in order to solve this problem, nobody is expressing that level of extremism in the current window of politics over there. I think it's going to be somebody we don't even know who they are, or it's going to be somebody who dramatically shifts what they're saying to an insane way. Farage is weak. Yeah, anybody like Nigel Farage or any of these people, they're going to seem like liberals compared to this person. The Swedish guy, no? Well, I don't know about that. I'm not sure who you're talking about.
Absolutely nothing. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer seems to be more concerned about protecting the illegal migrants than protecting his own people. Reform UK Zia Yusuf slammed
he's been cosplaying as caring about it recently because he doesn't want to lose elections.
Prime Minister for his incompetence on the issue.
It's all garbage. No one's listening, which is why his approval ratings have collapsed at historic speed. Look, there's north of 1.2 million people here in this country illegally already. They are crossing the channel illegally at record numbers, right? So things aren't not improving fast enough. They are getting demonstrably worse every single week. And the only way we're going to solve this problem, Mike, and restore a social contract that is hanging by a thread in this country is by deporting every single one of those 1.2 million people who are here. We need to be standing up enormous amounts of detention capacity. We need huge numbers of charter flights. We need return agreements with countries to take...
See this guy, what he's saying? That's close. That's close, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot more than that.
These people back, and if they don't take them back, we need to be doing things like stopping issuing visas altogether. We need to be scrapping the foreign aid.
And Starmer's latest humiliation, his deal with Emmanuel Macron of France over illegals, which commentators believe will have absolutely no impact on fixing the current issue.
As far as their main kind of policies go, one of them they bang on about because of that ridiculous and ludicrous summit last...
Check crime stats yourself instead of fear-mongering, attention-grabbing videos? You mean the crime stats that places like Sweden intentionally obfuscate in order to hide the idea of migrant crime? Are those the crime stats you want me to look at?
Le summit, as we've called it here, between Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer.
Nice try.
You know, they seem to think that finding some form of middle ground and finding an agreement on stopping the migrants is going to stop them. Well, it isn't. You know, they've now got the idea, Yvette Cooper has, that they're going to send some people back to Iraq. You know, I'll believe it when I see it. Nothing of that they do works.
No, it doesn't happen.
No one is going to go back to Iraq because even if they have a returns deal, the European Convention of Human Rights in its court will interfere and prevent that deal from being enacted.
And in a shock move, French reports indicate that France is now giving all Palestinians in Gaza the opportunity to apply for asylum. This commentator revealed the news, saying, a French court has ruled that all people from Gaza can apply for asylum in France. That is 2.1 million people that can come to Europe. Not only that, because of freedom of movement, they could potentially travel anywhere in the EU once inside France. Sounds like a bad idea.
Sounds like a bad idea.
And whilst the leaders of Europe refuse to do anything, the people have taken things into their own hands.
I just don't understand how, like, one thing that's really confusing to me about this is that why is it that Europe has some sort of unique responsibility to solve and alleviate these problems in the Middle East when there's a bunch of Middle Eastern countries there that these people could go to instead? It seems really confusing to me that Europe is the one that's supposed to solve this problem. Yeah, we don't. Well, World War II, white guilt. Yeah, I mean, you can say whatever the reason is at all, but it just, like, it's completely illogical. I don't see it at all. Why do you think the countries are doing this? Second-class citizens? Why are countries doing this? I think that... So, well, let me finish the video and I'll talk about why I think it's happening.
Send a message that this will not be tolerated.
We saw it. This is recent. Yeah.
Spaniards have also had enough and are responding with violence.
Yep, here we go. Oh boy. So, wow. Attack the random car with people in it. So, what I think is happening, the reason why I think it's happening is that I think that there's a number of different reasons why. So, some of the reasons why I think it's happening is, number one, it's that a lot of the people that are in these Western cultures think that they have some sort of guilt or obligation to let these people into these countries because of previous, and in some cases, legitimate ways that their countries have historically taken advantage of, Middle Eastern countries or other less privileged countries like ones in Africa, right? So that's number one. So there's like a degree of generational guilt through because of colonialization. That's one. And then number two, I think that you have a lot of people that have a lot of these values and they think these things because they never have to experience them themselves. So like, for example, that chatter who's saying that about London, he's saying that this isn't really a problem, but he might not live in the area where it's a problem. So like, for example, here in Austin, there are a lot of places where there are pretty much only white people. Like, I mean, in Lakeway, for example, this is the case where like there's a handful of minorities, but like the demographics of like Lakeway in Austin, like just so you guys get an idea of like kind of like just imagine like this is Austin, right? And so like this is Lakeway and this is like Montopolis and like this is I-35. This is like the amount of like white people here versus Hispanic people here is like inverse. Where like it's like 90% white people here versus like 90% Hispanic people here. Do you guys see you have project areas, right? Well, not really project areas, they're just areas that are less developed, right? And like the point that I'm making about Pflugerville, I've never been there, I'm not sure, but the point that I'm making is that a lot of the people that advocate for like mass migration or a lot of these like anti-police policies, so and this is really what the problem is it's people that are from this area that then negatively affect this area. So this area is now negatively affected because of lower policing, because you have a bunch of people in these ivory towers that think that they're good people. Look at me. Wow, I'm so good because I'm going against these evil, corrupt police officers. But the fact is that these police officers are actually the ones that are keeping these places livable, right? And so what I think happens in a lot of cases is that, and so you have, and what I mean by this, like my point with all of this is it's collectively, effectively, it's a luxury belief that they're writing checks that other parts of the country need to cash. Or sorry, other parts of the country, other parts of the city, other parts of the world need to cash. So they're saying that, oh, all of this stuff is normal and it's totally fine. Well, it is for them, because they don't ever have to experience the consequences from it, and they never will experience the consequences from it because they live in multi-million-dollar homes in gated communities, and the only time they interact with minorities is through like some sort of like fucking like some servant service, right? Like some housekeeping service. And so that's their thinking of it, right? It's literally like these like upper middle class liberals that are like, well, who's gonna clean my house? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's again, it's like the casual racism of it is insane. But anyway, so that's another reason why it's happening. A third reason why it's happening is that, and this is a big conspiracy that I have, is that I don't see how a government could allow this to happen unless they were kind of pushing for authoritarianism. So you could make the logical argument that they are effectively pushing accelerationism towards an authoritarian government by creating the need for an authoritarian government by destabilizing the population. Now, I don't think this is necessarily what's happening, but if I was a conspiracy theorist, that's what I would believe. And so there's definitely that. And the logic tracks, yeah, the logic tracks immediately, right? Like everything that's happening makes sense. Then there's another thing. This is with the US. With the UK, I'm not sure because of the way they're voting and like their whole system works, I'm not familiar with. And in Europe. But in the US, one of the reasons why a lot of countries or states like, California, for example, want to advocate for illegal immigration is because it increases the amount of votes that they have nationally, because the illegals are counted on the census. And the idea is that the more illegals that are counted on the census, the more their influence will be. And they're assuming that these illegals will vote and behave, and their children will vote and behave in a way that is beneficial to them. So they're making like a long-term generational investment in having these people come over to the country, and then hopefully having some sort of generational obligation or loyalty to the party that allowed them to do that. Reach? No, it's not a reach. This is literally just the truth, right? Like, that's the way it works. And so illegals can't vote, but their kids can, because they have kids here, and the kids are protected under the 14th Amendment, and they grow up to be citizens, and then they vote. And then they vote in the best interest of keeping their parents, who are illegals, in the country. You see how that works? There you go. And so, again, like, and the bro's cooking. No, that's, again, like, this is just logic. And so once you deconstruct these ideas, I think that a lot of it makes a lot of sense. It makes perfect sense. And so why is it happening in Europe? I think also Europe has, and this is especially true with countries, especially, I mean, the main one is Germany, right? Is Germany has like a lot of generational guilt because of World War II and the Nazis. So a lot of countries in Europe view not helping these other developing countries, especially if these countries are not the same ethnicity of them, they view not doing that or approaching solving problems that like groups like this create, like for example, like the gangs or whatever, they view solving these problems as racism, and it makes them afraid to deal with it because they don't want to be seen in the same way that their ancestors are seen. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? And so like all of these things come together, and that's what really creates these problems. I'll read a few comments, but like that's like, do you see kind of like how all of these things fit together? Oh, and then there's one more thing. A lot of big corporations want to bring in a lot of these low-skilled, low-education workers because they can exploit them. And so you also have the merging of cynical big business with self-serving government, with luxury belief liberals, and you also have a degree of generational guilt that happens throughout the entire culture. All of these things fit together, and it makes people say that this is okay. That's basically what's happening. And I think that's like, if you put everything together, that's the issue. Especially with what's happening in Spain. Bro, we're done with this generational guilt shit, though? Well, I mean, not yet. Obviously not yet. And I think that a lot of us on the internet, you need to understand that we are in an echo chamber. There are a lot of, and this is especially true with like older, and I would say this is like 45-plus-year-old people. A lot of those older people are still captured by that type of thinking. They're still captured by that type of thinking, and they're still inside of that box. And the reason why is because the government keeps them there. The government keeps them there, the media keeps them there, and they're not able to get out of it. It's mainly boomers, it's boomers and some Gen Xers, but it's primarily boomers. And people that are like really 50, 55 plus. And you can see that with a lot of these like Trump protests, for example, is that you either have two groups of people. You have young women that are probably, you know, like fucking mentally ill or something. And then you also have a lot of old people, right? And all you have to do is look at it, like the amount of people that are keying Teslas or anything like that. You have it there. Millennials too. Well, that's why I was talking about mental illness, right? And generational conditioning. Well, tell them they're wrong. Well, yeah. You can tell them that they're wrong. This problem will solve itself when those people generally just die out, because that's what's going to happen. Is they're going to die, And then the people that are going to replace them won't have the same values because they didn't grow up in the same way. And so once enough of those people die, then you'll see a big policy shift. Right? It's sad. It's a sad way to look at it, right? Because like a lot of these are like, you know, people our parents' age. But the reality is that, yes, I mean, this is the circle of life. Like, this is just how it is. And so die from age, right? Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, they just get old and, you know, like, that's what old people do. Old people die. Like, that's life.
else have we got?
There are a lot of people that are addicted to AI now. It's crazy.
I've developed an
True.
addiction to AI. My AI is actually on my best friends list.
If you're anything like me, you
On
use
my best
ChatGPT
friends
for
list.
everything.
No.
ChatGPT is my counselor, my therapist, my best friend. It
Oh no, my therapist, my best friend.
Yeah, that's about right.
knows all my secrets.
Story time on how I almost got kicked out of the University of Michigan my freshman year for using ChatGPT.
Okay, so ChatGPT is down, but we do not panic.
You're literally one AI agent away
We
from making
do not
10K
panic.
The most
Well,
gut-wrenching
that's a different thing.
feeling in the world is when the ChatGPT chat that you've been using for about 6 months starts referencing things that don't exist. It must be what it feels like to notice for the first time that a loved one has dementia or something.
Everyone's talking about how AI is ruining YouTube, but I believe AI is ruining something much worse, our own ability to think. ChatGPT has went down several times this year, and every time it goes down, it truly exposes people who are over-reliant on the AI. People are
That's crazy. Like, I mean, to me, I feel like maybe this is the point where I'm becoming a boomer, because I don't really ever, like, I use AI sometimes, right? If I want to like research something and like I just want like a summary for it, but like I don't really use it like these other people use it. They're thinking about it all the time.
genuinely losing their minds because they now can't get any of their work done, they can't cheat on their assignments, and apparently they can't even bake a cake.
ChatGPT is down,
Bro.
and I don't know about anyone else, but I have come to the conclusion that I can't use my own brain anymore. Because, for example, right now I want to bake a cake, and normally I ask ChatGPT, how do you make a carrot cake?
never
I can't
use your-
simply
no,
Google
no,
something
no, no,
anymore.
no.
Like, I need a step.
You could never use your brain to begin with. Let's just make that clear. I don't think there's a problem with people. I think people were already had the problem. AI isn't the problem.
Step-by-step breakdown from my best friend, who is also a robot. And now...
See, people like this back in the day used to be, their entire life was believing in trolls and digging potatoes out of the ground. But now these people have cars, homes, careers, you know, like houses, fucking like a boat, and most scarily, they have a social media account. And this is a subversion of the way things are meant to be. These people need to be back. Like, again, they need to be back getting carrots out of the ground, you know, deciding which potatoes are the good potatoes. This is real. This should have never happened. This has gone on way too far. We got a big problem here.
It's like he's passed away. So... that's me for the day. I'll go back to bed.
If we as a society are already this dependent on ChatGPT and can't be bothered to Google something the moment the servers
It's gonna get better for sure, right?
go down, we as a society are baked, and not in the fun way. Cookbooks, Google, I think even the flour bag has a recipe on it, or just call your...
Yeah, I was about to say, like, doesn't it have, like, if you're making carrot cake, doesn't it just say on the back of the cake what to do? Because, like, if I buy a cake mix, it just says on the back of the mix, put this much water in and then put it in the fucking oven. Like, it's not like this is complicated. Like, you don't need ChatGPT. They already ChatGPT'd it for you. Fucking 50 years ago.
Your grandmother, I'm sure she has a recipe and she would love to hear from you. And of course, every time ChatGPT goes down, everybody goes to Reddit to let everybody else know what they already know is that the servers are down.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this happens with any video game too. I mean, that's just people trying to figure out if it's broken or not.
Because when ChatGPT tells you Australians don't need a visa to enter Chile, but it's wrong and too late now. People are now relying on ChatGPT for travel information, which, as we know, gets updated. It's not always the same. ChatGPT, of course, can not only have outdated information, it can also hallucinate.
It just has wrong information because it aggregates the info wrong, what it reads wrong. That it can just happen. The thing is that I feel like the ChatGPT brain is similar to kind of how Wikipedia was in the 2010s. where people, instead of looking for primary sources, would look through and look for kind of like an amalgamation of information on Wikipedia. And I think that really what smart people did, and you guys know this if you went to college, like in like from like, because for me, I went to college like 2008, 2012 or 13, right? Somewhere around there. Like you would go on Wikipedia, but then you would find the primary source that's sourced in Wikipedia and then use that as the actual source that you're using to verify that the information is accurate, right? And the ironic thing about this is that ChatGPT has the exact same function, because all of the information that it has, at least with Grok, which is the Twitter one, is that, or X one, is that it sources where it finds everything. So, like, shouldn't you double check this? AI gives wrong answers because it's not thinking. It's guessing through statistic tricks over what the next word is most likely to be right. Yeah, but like, it's people that are thinking also give wrong answers. Okay, like let's not pretend like this is some kind of unique thing that AI is stupid and people aren't. We just really rely on its training set unless we're speaking about some fixed source skill like programming or video editing. Yeah.
Fascinating to me because this was such a simple Google search, but
Yeah.
it's like people don't want to Google anything now. They don't want to search out information.
Well, to be fair, Google hasn't necessarily made that any easier for people. Google is awful to use now because Google uses Gemini for every search as well, which is their AI tool. And then on top of Google's AI tool happening, then you also have a bunch of sponsored results and badly curated results. Like Google in 2006 was probably the greatest website that's ever been made, but Google in 2025 seems like a psyop. As soon as they started like in 2015, 16-ish, whenever they started exercising like editorial control over like which sites got mentioned and which ones didn't, that's when things started falling apart.
Themselves. They just want answers given to them automatically, regardless if it's true or not. I was recently thinking about all the know-it-alls in the world, right? I think we all know someone who kind of just says things and you're like, where did you get that from? And I don't know where they get it from. They just pull it out of thin air, but they say it confidently because they themselves believe it, and now they're trying to pass it on as truth.
Last night, I went out with friends, and one of my friends brought a friend. We were talking about space, and I said, fun fact, the size of Neptune's storms are so large they could eat Earth. And then little Tagalong speaks up, and he goes, oh, that's not true, bro. That's not. Let's show him with proof that it is true, and he goes, no. He takes out his phone.
Oh, you're gonna believe NASA? Oh, aren't they the ones that faked that moon thing? Ah, yeah, right. Where are we at? Are we good? Wait. Do we have an F? We're good? Okay, good. I was worried for a second there. Yeah, you can't believe NASA.
And says, yo, chat, is this real? You're using an AI model to fact check NASA.
Why use brain? You're doubting official sources of truth, such as NASA, and opting for ChatGPT.
Because they're stupid. That. Are we good? Test. We're good. I don't know what the fuck, man. Like, my internet's just been so messed up recently. And anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, why do people believe this stuff? It's just because they're dumb. That's the reason why. It's not some sort of like elaborate, crazy, oh, I wonder what this is. They're just stupid.
Source of truth. People are now using AI to cheat during their interviews.
You're leading an army of ants in a battle against grasshoppers. What's your first strategic move?
I think my first strategic move would be to assess the terrain and identify any natural advantages that we can leverage, such as narrow paths or elevated areas.
So you can see the AI
This seems like a meme, by the way. I don't think this one's
listening to
real.
the conversation and it just outputs the answer and she's kind of reading it off. I understand, okay? I understand. The interviewing process, job hunting, I get it. It sucks. I think imposter syndrome is something we have all struggled with at least at some point in our careers. And if you can't answer the questions in an interview, I don't know. I feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. I know employers...
Well, you're setting yourself up for a paycheck. And that's the thing is that, and this is, people lie on job interviews. Like, the only job application I didn't lie on was my one to the IRS because it was the federal fucking government, right? Other than that, I lied on every single job application, every application that I ever did. Anything that I possibly could, I would lie about everything. And again, because why? Because I want to get the job. Like, I don't, like, oh, they're going to fire you. Okay. Well, then I'm at the same place that I was already at, and they still have to pay me for the time before they figured out that I was bullshitting them. So fake it till you make it? Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I did on job suit. Yeah, always lie. Always lie unless it's a job that you can get arrested for lying on. Don't do that.
Themselves are using AI, so now potential employees are fighting back using AI themselves. But I think this will just lead employers to coming up with new tactics to see, are you using AI?
I think we've reached a point with AI where we can confidently say this is not a tool that is revolutionizing learning. This is a nightmare that is destroying learning. Not once have I seen a single student use AI as a resource or in a way that is even remotely ethical. 100% of times when I see students use it, it is so they do not have to think. I'm talking about...
That's right. That's right. There's going to be no
That's
more
because
thinking.
you're giving them questions that they have to
no
fucking...
more thinking at all. This is over.
It's a teacher's fault too. Teach better.
And also, here's the thing. Schools
Give them
nowadays
physical
don't
tests.
teach you long-form arithmetic anymore because we have calculators that do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that this is going to have to be a change that comes from both sides. I think that schools and teachers are going to have to reinvent the way that they teach people if technology can just so easily solve the problem that they're bringing up.
Yeah, give them better problems.
Yeah, this is a new
Why
meta.
are you teaching them something
the
that...
meta of learning. And the meta of learning has changed many times over the years. It's not like this is the first time. Think about how much the internet changed things. Think about how much computers changed things. Think about how much calculators would have changed things. It's totally different. You're years behind. Yeah, you're years. Yeah, you don't want to teach. Like, you're not going to. Why would you? Are you really preparing students for the real world by not preparing them and not teaching them to use the tools that everybody in the real world uses? No, you're not.
Putting an essay prompt into ChatGPT, not even reading the essay prompt. Copying and pasting the results into a doc and submitting it without even reading it over.
More and more teachers are...
Easiest essay of my fucking life. There you go.
Coming out and claiming how AI is terrible for students, and I'm always surprised by the amount of backlash that these teachers get. There's a huge difference in giving AI to an adult to be used as a tool and giving AI to a student to be used as a crutch. An adult already has critical thinking skills, whereas a child...
Childs do not.
hasn't developed their critical thinking yet. These students need to be writing things for themselves.
Yes.
Writing, reading, spelling, all of those things lead to critical thinking, abstract thinking, which is the basis of just learning how to learn. How can they fact check an LLM if they can't even on their own create their own stories? People also love to compare AI to when calculators were introduced.
Yes.
Have you ever asked a calculator how to boil an egg? Have you ever asked a calculator to write a resume for you? They're not the same thing.
No, but I have asked a calculator how to calculate the hypotenuse of something, or how to, you know, do a graph or something like that. There's a lot of graphing calculators that do, and they perform functions that people no longer need to directly understand how to apply themselves. I think that it's undeniable that calculators have changed the way that people learn math. Absolutely it is. And same with statistics or anything else. Yeah, so you do have to use and adapt to technology. And I think also, like, you ask yourself the question, are you doing your students a favor by teaching them a bunch of vestigial tools and vestigial methods to do something that nobody in the real world is effectively doing. Because you ask yourself, like, school in a lot of ways is to prepare you for the real world. And it's to prepare you for employment. And it's also to make you like an intelligent person and to make sure you understand the global, the global like, you know, cultural like norms and everything. But primarily, it's also so you can learn how to be an adult, a functional adult. And so if you're constantly teaching people these vestigial methods that are no longer being used by the public, are you really fulfilling your role as a school, as a teacher? And the answer, in my opinion, is no. No, you're not. You're doing something because that's what you've always done, and the world is changing, and you refuse to change along with it.
Exactly. They're refusing to change.
AI can do way more things than a calculator, including math, kind of. As the teacher mentioned, students just copy prompts and paste them into ChatGPT. Yes. And this is happening so often in universities that professors are now using a Trojan horse to detect AI.
Everyone is cheating their way through college.
Even the professors are using AI to
Back
grade
whenever I was in college,
fucking paperwork.
A lot of people was cheating their way through college. Because back then, what you used to do is that you would look up, you would get an assignment, and then you would look up the book number, and then you would look up the workshop and everything, and it would give you all the answers. Like, this is actually stuff that people, like, I like, as somebody who, like, because for me, like, my goal was always how can I, like, I didn't care about learning. I cared about winning. And for me, winning was min-maxing and getting this done at the highest level with the lowest amount of time. That was it.
Yes,
and
highest
so
efficiency.
People will always be cheating. Yeah, you're not going to write a thesis by looking up a workbook, bud? Well, a thesis statement, like, this is, like, I mean, number one, like, that's way, way later on down the line. But, and also, like, if you can invalidate 80% of the work, then you have 80% more time to deal with the remaining 20%, which is going to make you even better at doing that. It's just logical.
Professors will put something like, mention Dua Lipa. If you don't know, she's an artist. But the interesting thing is students aren't even reading what ChatGPT is giving them. They're not even reading their work. They're just submitting the whole thing. And then somewhere in the essay, it mentions Dua Lipa, which if you wrote that yourself, or if you even halfway wrote it going back and forth with ChatGPT, you would wonder, why is it talking about Dua Lipa? They're not even reading the prompt. The caption says,
that's crazy. I mean, I feel like if you're not even reading the prompt for the essay that you're trying to cheat in, like, you're really, like,
you're just cooked.
At that point, like, that is, like, that's bad. Like, you probably should have read the prompt.
T is down. Is it too far to ask Snapchat AI for exam answers?
Yeah, let's be honest, guys. That's a bit much.
And then it uses
Snapchat
Taylor Swift's
answers?
song where it
What?
says something like, I've got nothing in my brain. Yeah, because you're using AI for everything. You haven't learned anything, and thus you can't recall anything, and you're not able to do your exam. And you're panicking now when ChatGPT is down.
Those are stupid.
It's interesting that she wants to use a social media's AI to help her cheat on her exam, when it's social media that destroyed our critical thinking skills, and not just the desire to find the truth, but the ability to do so. People are...
Social media didn't destroy people's critical thinking skills. Partisan politics and social constructions did. People are afraid of critically thinking because it will put them at odds with the groupthink. And people are afraid of going at odds with the groupthink. Think about how many people accidentally expressed their own opinion, and then they were ostracized for it. That's one of the big reasons. And COVID is a good example, too. People want to be sheep, and people will give away their ability for critical thinking in order to be good little sheep because they want to stay part of the flock. I think that obviously students aren't taught critical thinking either, but the reason why students aren't taught critical thinking is because a lot of the institutions are benefiting from students not having it.
Exactly.
Now relying on ChatGPT
Especially the
for things like hiking. And it's leading users who I guess are not familiar with hiking to go on these mountains that still have snow, and they're wearing sneakers. They're not even prepared for the reality of what the hike is going to be like, and it's causing all these search and rescue teams to have to go out.
Bad.
Now, we had a word for this, and actually 2 words for this.
Y'all know what that word is.
And rescue these
Retard?
People are relying so heavily on ChatGPT that they don't even understand that without cell reception, they can get no help from ChatGPT or a rescue team.
If you're not using ChatGPT for everything in your life, you're crazy.
This is by far the most powerful ChatGPT prompt I've
Okay,
ever seen.
then.
Now operating.
Most powerful prompt. God mode. High performance. Protocol. Expert level.
What's wrong with these people?
Now operating
script.
I'm giving you guys right now the exact ChatGPT prompt that will help you manifest your dream life.
And this is how you can have a mental reprogramming of your brain. Here's the prompt.
Older people use ChatGPT as a Google replacement. Maybe people in their 20s and 30s use it as like a life advisor something.
There's an interesting paradox happening.
Oh my God.
With AI where people feel they are genuinely leveling up. They're becoming better, faster, smarter. They're evolving with AI. However, the research says otherwise. Earlier this year, the Wharton School...
Yeah, I guaranteed they're not. Like, this is absolutely making people dumber.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, they really are. People are doing this. And it's going to get a lot worse. This is probably, I think, 5% as bad as it's going to get. It will get 95% worse.
Research on how we learn with LLMs.
Yeah, true.
Their research showed that when we search for information ourselves, we're more invested, and thus, as we're searching out information, we synthesize and hold on to more of that information. Whereas with ChatGPT, it just
does that for
spits out an answer. We read it, we don't really hold on to the information, and we just keep going about our day. We then have the recently released MIT study that shows that people who use LLMs tend to have less brain activity. In the study,
yeah, obviously they have less brain activity because they're not using their brain. Like, this is pretty simple. So, I mean, this is like, in my opinion, I think that, and this is what I've noticed too, is that a lot of people that kind of lose their fucking minds, one of the reasons why is because
they never use it.
Them. Your brain is the same type of muscle that I think other things are. And if you're not regularly, like, here's a good way that I think everybody can realize this. How many of you guys between, like, I don't know, Christmas break or between like 1 year to the next year in school, you forgot your locker code? Well, why is that? Because you're not using it. You're not using that information. And so I think this can happen on a macro level. You can just straight up fuck.
Leisure time.
It's called neuroplasticity. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I'm not sure.
Participants were asked to write an essay.
Hey.
Are we good? I had a little bit of hiccup.
Yep.
Everything good?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know what that is. Twitch F? Yeah, there's been a lot of those recently.
Tend to have less brain activity. In the study, participants were asked to write an essay. The researchers used an EEG to measure the electrical activity of the brain as users were writing their essay. They found that the people who only used their brains exhibited the strongest, most distributed networks, and the LLM users displayed the weakest connectivity. The study also highlighted how people who used the LLM had a really hard time recalling what they'd even read or wrote with the LLM.
Because they're stupid. And this is another thing too, is that, like, you have a selection bias going on with this, because a lot of the people that use ChatGPT to figure out answers for everything are just stupid. Like, that's it. Yeah, actual brain rot. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, this is, I feel like this is always one of those things where it's like, oh, nobody's supposed to talk about this. But the reality is that a lot of people are fucking retarded. And, like, the bottom 20% of society are just dumb. They're dumb. They're dumb. These are the people that, again, they need, like, back in the day, they would be, like, their job would be how to turn a big rock into a little rock. And that's what they would do all day, every day. And they had a hammer and they would do that. Or they would get all of the potatoes out of the ground. or anything like that. And so, no, I'm just saying, right? And so that's
This
the
is
issue. And so now
hilarious.
these people own a car, and that's a big fucking problem, isn't it?
Right.
Holy shit! Can you imagine a person who's this is like this was the capacity that they were operating at? Now they have a car. Oh fuck!
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I'm capable of remembering how to spell or do math. I'm just lazy. I just get to Google it. Yeah, just make all tests in person with a pencil. You're being unfair to Masons. I'm not talking about stonemasons. I'm talking about a guy with a hammer that just turns rocks into dust, okay? Like, obviously, stonemasons and stonemasonry is a high-level skill. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that just make big rocks into little rocks, okay? Very big difference there. And so, yeah, not a stonemason, just an idiot.
Just
an
idiot.
Russia, they were saying a monkey with a grenade. Yeah, I guess so, right? And so this is the problem that I think a lot of people have, is that there's this concept that everybody is a blank slate. And because they're all a blank slate, you can just simply teach people these things and they'll learn them and they can get smarter. There are a lot of people, like, I think each individual person has like a spectrum of IQ that they can exist on. And there's a floor and there's a ceiling. And that's it's pretty definitive, right? I mean, obviously certain, like factors like nutrition play a big role in this, etc. But like, there are some people that are just dumb. They're just dumb. Like, you're not gonna, and the thing is, like, every animal, we know this with every animal, that every animal, you had a dumb cat, you had a smart cat. There are some cats that can tell that they're attacking their reflection and they'll stop. And there's some cats that'll just get mad at a mirror for the rest of their fucking life. And the fact is that animals have variations, and even they do. But the truth is that people do too. And they're never gonna be. You're kind of there. People have different strengths that they're able to exploit. This is a idealistic viewpoint on the reality, but I think it's inaccurate. There are a lot of people that just aren't really born with that many talent points. It's not like everybody who's really stupid is somehow a savant in music. No, there's some people that are just stupid. That's it.
Better believe it.
They don't have another talent tree that they have all their points in. No, they're just dumb. That's all there is to it. There's no fucking there's no silver lining. It's just how it is. It's a genetic baseline. Yeah, exactly. And I think that a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that. And AI helps these people understand things. Would you say most of it is genetics? I would say that it's a mix. I think that it's a mix. I think 2 smart people are more likely to have a smart kid, but 2 dumb people could have a smart kid too. But there's definitely a correlation, but it's not 1-to-1.
I know a lot of people have issues with this MIT research, claiming that it's too small of a sample size. But we also have Microsoft's own research pointing to basically the same thing, that the more we use LLMs, our brains are having atrophy and we're losing our critical thinking.
That's right.
This is all interesting to me because the AI hype usually focuses on how we're all going to unlock all of this knowledge that the average person can learn physics. Yet if they're
it's going to make everybody stupid.
The average person could never learn physics. But the average person who has the capacity to learn physics now has a much lower barrier to entry to learning physics.
Then they're actually learning it at a shallower depth than if they would research it on their own. AI is also marketed to us as allowing us to automate the boring things, when in reality, we're just fact-checking what the LLM tells us. We're not even using our creativity, and we're not using our critical thinking skills. That's why we're becoming dumber or
more dumber.
In my opinion, we really didn't need these studies to show that if you outsource every single thought you have to ChatGPT, that will deteriorate our own ability to think.
And you can think about this like in an abstraction. Think about it from the perspective of how people wait for politicians or influencers to give them their opinions about things. Is it really that much different than ChatGPT? Not really.
No,
it's basically you're just outsourcing your critical thinking to another person, to another apparatus, to something else, right? It's like at one point you don't want to think, and somebody else or something else is thinking for you. This is stupid. Somebody telling what smart is. everybody thinks it's like it's not dumb, bro. Like it's not. Like you ever been to a school and you ever been to a class with dumb people in it? You would know that there are some people that are just never gonna get it. They're never gonna figure out a triangle, bro. Like there's not gonna be a point in time where you can explain it in the right way. It's like, well, it's kind of like a Dorito. No, but then they're like, well, that's not, because I can eat a Dorito, I can't eat a triangle. Guys, please believe me when I say
Bro, he's right though. People
Critically
just
and
don't
problem
understand.
solve.
If I can show you how to
Don't
make
have
money
the
with ChatGPT
thinking.
in the next hour, would you do it?
So I've been training this brand new AI on exactly how to help beginners make money online.
If I had to start from zero and make 10K per month as fast as possible with AI, here are 3 ideas that I know for sure would work.
I want to stop scrolling because this AI hack could change your entire 2025 income game.
I'm too cheap to pay for my own Netflix subscription, so let's build our own version of Netflix, and all we're going to need is to go onto ChatGPT. I just sit back, relax, and save that Netflix subscription money. What's your vibe today? Smart feed, mystery?
So many people these days are told they need to stop.
What the fuck was that?
What the fuck is she talking about?
Start a business or a side hustle, and with AI, anyone can code up their own application. Even though these people are now
Fucking like
putting
she's
users'
smoking crack.
passwords in an Excel file because they don't know how to set up a database or do proper authentication, but I digress.
Well, this actually, like the point she's making, I actually think that if you are a 15-year-old and you are in the top 10% of intelligence, you probably have a higher capacity to make over $100,000 a year than a random moron with a 4-year college degree. Because there are a lot of ways that people can make tons of money on social media and on the internet by utilizing AI in order to create different types of processes or to do different types of actions at scale. Like, because you see this happen every once in a while where there's like some kid that's thought of like some business thing or whatever that they can come up with. And like, how do I know that? It's because I used to do this as a kid in a small scale, right? Like we didn't have technology back then, but like I would be trying to sell, you know, like answers to tests. I would be trying to sell, you know, like different programs. Like I'd be trying to sell like burned CDs. I'd be trying to do whatever it is. And so what happens is that, yeah, floating rocks, well, that was the first one, right? And the point is that if you're smart and resourceful, this is like a multiplier effect of your intelligence. But the issue is that in the same way that people that are really smart can use this to like multiply their effectiveness, people that are really stupid, it actually holds them back from even being able to reach their own potential. I think it's definitely a double-edged sword. Is that now dumb people never have to think at all, but smart people who can think can use this and outperform a dumb person. Instead of 5 to 1, it's 500 to 1 or 5,000 to 1.
Cooked.
I'm thinking about starting a side hustle where I collect dog poop by hand from people's yards and drying them out to put in resin to make jewelry and watches out of. Thinking of calling it Turd Times a Charm. What do you think? This idea is
I like the name.
unhinged, and honestly, it might just work. People may be spending money that they don't have to start a side hustle, all because ChatGPT told them it was a brilliant idea. It's like
I mean, that's again, like, I feel like that's user error. Like, there's plenty of people that make bad business decisions without ChatGPT. Like, I've seen a lot of bad business decisions be made by but without ChatGPT at all. It's a shitty idea. It is. It's a very shitty idea. Natural selection, yeah, they're just dumb.
So focused on being efficient now that no one cares about honing their skills, about improving their craft.
Yeah.
Take the event loop in
Well, and this is the thing though, right? Is like, this is what I was saying before, is like the people that do hone their skills, the people that are experts in their craft, think about how much this is a multiplier for their efforts and for their work. And then you think about what the income and the wealth disparity is now, and you think about now these people have the tools to multiply that by 100. It's going to get a lot worse.
JavaScript. It's a coding language if you don't know. The event loop, you don't necessarily need to know to write JavaScript code, but it's something that I want to know. It fascinates me and it allows me to write optimized code. But do I truly need to know it to be able to write code? know, the AI knows it. It can write optimal code. But it's
Yeah.
like nowadays, I'm viewed as the idiot if I don't want to use AI. Like if I don't want to outsource my brain to the AI, I'm the idiot.
Well, you would be in some circumstances, because like if you are an experienced technician and or a programmer, I bet you can probably get 80% of something done with AI in 10% of the time, and then spend an additional 20% of the time editing and making sure that everything is in line, and save ultimately over half the time. So like it's all about like, and this is the thing that not true, speaking from experience, I think that again, every year that it's not true is a year that we become closer to it being true. We all know this, right? Everybody knows this. And so what I think is happening, smarter
Now
not
that's
harder.
true.
Yes, exactly. And so one thing that happens is that, again, people that are good at using this
Smarter
will be
not
able to
harder.
outperform you. It's like what that Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, said. He said that AI isn't going to replace jobs, but people that use AI will replace you. And that's what's going to happen. The CS majors coping. No. And again, like, you're definitely right. And think about how many other instances there are that are similar to this that people are using. So they use, I'm doing that right now. I have been for 3 years now. Yeah, a lot of people have. And so you always have tools like this that can create the gap. We're teaching AI to replace us. Well, we're teaching AI to empower you, to replace people in some cases, yes, but also to empower people to be more efficient. The problem is the employer expects us to use AI and be 10x. Yeah, sure.
Reliance on ChatGPT is the real zombie apocalypse. It's the death of critical thinking. I think this tweet sums up this video quite well. Sometimes in the process of writing a good enough prompt for ChatGPT, I end up solving my own problem without even needing to submit it. AI folks have now discovered thinking.
You just are putting your closets on ChatGPT? What happened to the art of getting dressed? What happened to, I can't find anything to wear. One of my last beautiful personal joys that we have every day is the art of getting dressed.
He's ranting about how people are now uploading their entire wardrobe to ChatGPT to ask ChatGPT for recommendations on what they should wear, what they should buy. His argument is that we're all going to...
Oh my God. Oh, that's real bad. Oh, shit.
Look the same now, which I agree. We're all losing our individuality, our personality. We all sound the same, actually. Research does show that everybody's kind of just sounding the same now because they're all regurgitating what ChatGPT has told them. Where is individuality? Where is
Are you
ownership
sure?
of our work? Where is creativity? When we question nothing and outsource all of our critical thinking skills to an AI, it creates the perfect conditions for tech billionaires like Peter Thiel to control us.
That's right.
Which is already happening.
right.
But that's a
That's
topic
right. I love him. I think he's great.
for another video.
He's so
Hey,
great.
how are you? How am I doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, how are you? Do you want to go out for ice cream? Let me ask Chat. Hey, Chat, should I go out for ice cream?
Hey, well, if you're in the mood for ice cream, why not?
I need a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Bro.
Again, bro, there are so many people in this world that are meant to be digging potatoes out of the ground that have been thrust into office jobs that they do not have the mental capacity for. And finally, the computer can think for them and they can fulfill their existence of just simply doing fucking nothing. Bro, I'm telling you, and I know you shouldn't say that, but I think it's
that's
true.
hilarious.
I do. I really think it's true. And there's the video. Give it a like. Vanessa,
think that's
I don't know
true.
how to say her last. It's got one of those fucking things in the A. I don't know what that is. But she only got 15,000 subs. This is a really good video. I think she put it together really well. I'd look forward to see what else she'd make. And you'd be in the farm too? Well, hey, if I would be in the farm eating potatoes and then digging them out of the ground, I would be a happy boy. I wouldn't have to worry about like taxes. Like, oh my God. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, are you kidding me? Or like some kind of fucking like, what do you mean the PSI of my car tires? What the fuck does... Oh, bro, like, what is this? This is so complicated. I can't think about this. No, and you don't... Like, a mortgage... Wait, what do you mean there's a 3.5% on how much? Oh, God, jeez. Yeah, think about how much easier it would be for those people. Okay, there's 700 potatoes out there. We need 150 of them today. Go get them.
Go get them.
This is like, again, but this is so easy. Go get them. I'm serious. Everybody acts like I'm crazy. But I'm the only person
This is fucking hilarious.
It's not that simple, bro. Yes. No. Okay, well, you've got to... Oh, there's a stick you've got to have, and you have to worry about using the stick to get the potatoes out. And that's it. I'm telling you. Low-key, I wish I was a feudal serf. I think that serfdom, we are bringing back we are going to have neo-feudalism. We already have it. We already have it, guys. You have people shopping for you. You have people getting your food for you. You have people driving you around, Instacart, Uber Eats, and Uber. These are all things that you people used to do. We are beginning to have feudalism again. This is what's going to happen. The Unabomber was onto something after all. Well, look, Twitch has got a new set of rules, and so we're not going to talk about that. But the point is that even if they're too rude, serfs were docile. They were very docile, and if they weren't docile, well, you know what happens.
I don't know about you, but that was pure effing gold. No, I know. Relax, guys. That was pure effing gold. I know. But let's get it. Play some of this old shit. You know what it is. Lunchtime. Oh, yeah. Any second now. What the fuck? Hmm. What is going on? Fix this real quick. Y'all ready for this? Did all the bullshit last night. Be ready for all the action. You know how much talking and talking and talking they did to me. It was like, when am I gonna shoot? And by the time I got to a place that looked like I was gonna actually fight, I'm like, I'm tired of shit. It hit me. Dude, no side mission. Actually, I'm actually not even at a place fighting.
Charming.
Let's get these guys leveled up. I got fucking cooked. Get straight cooked. Shit again.
Get ready to fight!
Decoy fucking him up.
Guess we need more of those pictures.
Wonder if I'd get anything on the scanner. Found them. The researchers caught in the stasis field. Exactly where Kieran said they would be. Should be enough glyphs.
It's gonna be a minute.
interface failed, Pathfinder. It appears that was incorrect.
Really? There's gotta be a fucking mod for this. This is actually stupid. Damn. Guess I'm stuck. Okay. That one's locked in. Most likely this one too. That makes this one locked in. I think. Yeah. Okay. Makes these locked in. Well, actually, this I should do. Okay. That might look even better.
Reading of the monitors and... Scatting stars. What? Who are you? How did...
Pathfinder Rider, with the Andromeda Initiative. I'm... from another galaxy. Take a moment. Find your bearings.
More aliens appearing out of nowhere. What's going on?
The remnant tech around here had you frozen in some kind of stasis.
I don't know who you are. Just stay back.
I don't think he remembers being frozen.
Pack your equipment. We're leaving. Alert Palev that there's an alien presence by the monolith.
That went well.
What's your status, Ryder? Did you figure out what happened to the research team?
We deactivated the stasis field. They're safe and making their way back.
That's good news. You should come too. Kiran looks like she wants to talk to you.
That was a fucking puzzle.
Automated protocols activated. Deploying forward station.
You don't feel any different?
I don't think so.
What do you mean, grey spiky aliens? Cat?
No. These were different. We were doing a survey of the area and saw them before the freeze. They look like that one, with Ryder.
Turians? Why don't you and Torvar talk about that later? Right now, I want to thank you for saving my team.
You weren't lying. Kira told us everything. She even had pictures.
I apologize for the indifferent welcome you received from me earlier.
After everything you've faced, I wouldn't have blamed you if you shot at me.
We're all glad that didn't happen.
Ryder, what you have done here, your remnant understanding and your SAM should convince Ephra you're an asset. We should speak to him as soon as we can. Perhaps on the Tempest?
Kieran, I've been thinking. If Ryder can use remnant, couldn't we fix the monoliths? Stop Haval's decline?
Havarl's decline?
This will take time to explain. We can discuss it further when you have time. And don't forget to talk to Torvar about those. What did you call them? Turians?
Locating a Varl. Reg is yours, Pathfinder.
Jal says Ephra is waiting for your call, Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, you have new email.
Here we go. Nope.
Should have seen it. Perfect drift.
You know we've got a finite set of tires, right?
Also limbs and lives.
Well, what's the point of having them then?
Did you hear the news from Eos? Asari refugees showed up at the outpost. Only a few, but that's better than none. Bradley says there's an officer in charge, Hidaria. She could know where the Ark is.
We'll head to Eos and see what she knows.
Good. Rumor says Sarissa Theris was on the Asari Ark. Exactly who we need.
Who's she?
Probably the best commando strategist alive. Her biotic shields saved hundreds at the Battle of Kirkus. Apparently, Sarissa's acting as bodyguard to the Asari Pathfinder. She's probably got a plan out of this mess already.
Well, someone's a fan.
No, I just like... Look, we need someone with her experience, that's all.
I'll take someone with that much experience. Another reason to find the Ark.
When you're ready to look, we can catch Hidaria at Prodromos. Wouldn't mind tagging along.
Again. I'll lend you 30 if you pay me back by tomorrow.
Done. Thank you, Suvi.
Someday I'll find out why you're always strapped for credits.
Pythias system. Home of Eos and Prodromos.
Hey. Take a little break here. Gotta figure out where the heck I'm going first. Game bugged out. Alright guys, I'll catch y'all in a little bit. Have a good one, take it easy, and I'll catch you later. Peace. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.